Yo, what up? I'm Chaz, and this is
the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Whatever. Chill. Yo, here's a way not to talk to chicks. Check out this total nerd.
I masturbated today. Did I mention I have a sex swing?
Yo, this is how a guy who's super legit his balls talks to chicks.
I like Joe very much. Do you like Joe? I think Joe's interesting as well. Yeah, you want to get it on with Joe? We can have a Joe sandwich.
Jerry, what are you talking about? Are you being nice to the young lady?
Mind your own business, homo. I'm spitting game.
Typical Joe.
Yo, here's a list of things that super aren't tight.
Free Beer.
He's a perfect example of what is not tight.
Hot Wings.
So what's it like being like a total dweeb?
Eric Zane.
Thighs, thighs, and tries.
Producer Joe. And Steve.
Yo, what's with your wardrobe? So, maybe, somebody want to know? Because I don't give a shit. But, maybe, two people out there want to know, how you guys got started.
Well, back in 1997, when Freebeer and I got together to do the show, it was an afternoon show, and at that time there were a lot of shows in the market.
Oh, my God. These guys are so boring.
It's time for the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Probably the worst thing that I've ever heard. It doesn't make any sense. You're an embarrassment. Really. It's pathetic. It's complete and total crap. If you had taken a poo on a CD and, handed it to me steaming and hot, you could have gotten further along.
The f*** do you know, fat ass?
It's Wednesday. It's the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Free Beer, Hot Wings, and Eric Zane. Joe is here. Steve is here. 1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com. Steve, is it true you're going to own a house by this weekend?
Either this weekend or early next week.
Yeah?
Yeah.
When do you find out? You just haven't set the date for closing?
Yeah, because the appraisal took longer than we were hoping it would. So there's a few repairs that the seller has to make, and they were going to do them last weekend, but they didn't get to them. So hopefully they'll do them this weekend, and I'll be in next week.
So you got to buy appliances, everything.
Yeah, I need a fridge, I need a stove, washer, dryer.
Jeez. Yeah, that's
a lot of bargaining power, though.
Yeah.
The fact that you're buying all of that, you should be able to get a pretty significant price cut wherever you get it.
I hope so.
Be tough talk them.
Yeah. So how is the appliance shopping? Is that secured? Is that?
I've looked around. I went to one place.
It's always fun.
Yeah, I went to one place. I think I was telling Free Beer. I went there over the weekend. 2 steps in the door. Hello, sir. What can we help you with today? Ignore. Didn't even.
You didn't even say, I'm just looking. You didn't even comment?
No, because I had been warned by Free Beer and Joe that this place was like that.
Yeah, but you didn't even acknowledge. You didn't even say, I'm all set.
I mean, if
you just kept walking.
If you completely ignore them, then they may think that you didn't hear them, and then they will ask you again. Most people would go, "Nah, man, I'm good. I'm just,
And then they say, well, if there's anything we can help you with, just let us know. My name's Bob."
That's what you would think. That's what they'd do at a reputable place. But this place, I went into another section. I had looked around at a couple of washers and dryers, which, looking at washers and dryers, to me, they're all the same. They're just priced differently because they all do the same thing. So I'm just looking. All right, whatever. Oh, look, there's a car audio section. I'm gonna go walk through there, even though I don't need anything. What the heck? Mm-hmm. That'll be fun. I'll look at, a new navigation thing, which I don't need.
Right.
Again, 2 steps inside. Hello, sir. What can we help you with today? Out of this guy, I acknowledged him. Oh, no, I'm just browsing. Thank you.
What made you change your tune on the response there?
I felt kind of bad about the first guy.
Uh-huh.
So
I do like the fact that you had mentally prepared yourself to be completely rude to these people who are just trying to do their job.
Yeah.
Because and Steve's right. I had said, and I know the other guys had said, hey man, you go to this place, they're vultures, they're going to get you. So I like the idea that you walked in and just blatantly ignored them. The only way it could be better in my mind is if you stared them in the eye while you chose not to respond.
So this guy, you said you said to him,
I said,
it's cool, I'm just looking at these.
Because I had no intention of buying anything. It was just something to distract me for a few minutes till I went back to looking at refrigerators, which is so much fun.
Uh-huh.
So his follow-up question, first of all, it shouldn't have been one. It should have been, okay, let me know if you need any help. Because I had already told him, just looking, thank you. So is there anything specific you're looking for? Nope. Just browsing.
All right.
Have you ever thought about signing up for our credit card?
Oh, he went right to it, man.
Wow.
No.
No, I haven't thought that. That's all you need to answer. That's you actually answered the question with, no, I haven't, sir.
Well, would you like to? Please leave me alone.
Oh, you didn't answer.
Did you say, please leave me alone?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
About
Jesus,
face,
you got balls,
walked
man.
right out of their little section.
Now, I've been on the other side of that interaction. I've been that sales guy.
Yeah.
And that's a drag, but one thing that I thought that I think most people are pretty good at is recognizing the difference in the answer. Because you can answer the same words, but there's a difference. If the question is, hey, have you ever thought about signing up for our credit card? Nope. That means don't ask the next question.
Yeah.
If it's, no, I haven't, that says, no, I haven't, but the tone says, keep going, maybe you could sell me.
Mm-hmm. Just the fact that I had already said just browsing, and he followed up just browsing with, so are you looking for anything in particular? No.
Oh.
I said just browsing. That means I don't have anything in particular picked out. So I spent the remainder of the time there, which is probably another almost a half hour, acting like I was on my cell phone. And at one point I called Meredith and just talked to her about nothing for 20 minutes.
That must have been fun for her.
Yeah. I'm looking at.
That must have been a good time.
Looking at this TV.
It's on her voicemail.
I mean, you're all rude, so you could easily have just avoided all this hand to the phone thing by just looking at this guy in the face and say, because this is right up your alley. Hey, excuse me, if you talk to me once again anymore while I'm here, nothing will be purchased, and I'm going to go to your boss, and I'm going to say, I would have bought something, but this idiot's here, and he won't stop talking to me. That's right up your alley, man. That would have been perfect for you.
Let's do that as a Joe stunt, except, Joe, you'll say to him, look, if you talk to me again, I'm going to go tell your boss that you fondled me. Joe, that sounds fun, right?
I cringe.
Yeah. And then,
I want Steve to do that,
if he gets a little pushy, you can go, look, I will tell him you sexually harassed me.
Yeah. Ooh. You were actually inside of me.
Yeah.
That's a brutal stuff.
I've been in that place. Yeah. I think that's what you'd have to do in order to get the managers to because if you said, yeah, they kept bugging me, they'd get high fives because that's what that place does, man.
I was molested one time for everything in your body that points, and that includes all these things were inside of me. Mm-hmm. Nose, fingers, toes, and joint, and one ear,
and an elbow,
and an elbow, and a knee. These are all in me. Thank you.
It's decided, Steve. We'll do that as a Steve stunt.
Yep. As the Steve stunt.
Sweet.
That has a good ring to it, by the way.
I like Steve stunt.
Steve stunt.
So, you're no closer on getting the big refrigerator or the oven or the microwave or.
I actually talked to Andy from the
sister
morning
station.
show.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And one of his
that is Milk Toast in the morning.
That's right.
Yeah. They're already playing Christmas music.
True.
One of his clients is a appliance place, like the father and son.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
And he set me up there, so I'm going to go in there, I think, tomorrow.
That's a good choice.
Yeah, that is.
We've all bought stuff there. That's a good place.
Don't turn your back on Andy, man. He's ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he'll smile to your face, but he'll cut your throat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Keep that in mind.
Is he out there right now?
I think so.
Know who you're dealing with.
Andy,
you make a deal with the devil.
He strangled a guy on the Hispanic station with his cardigan sweater.
Oh, my God.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he did.
He's like Mr. Rogers, man.
Stuck a loafer right up that guy's ass.
Hot Wings, you have a child. Second one on the way. Zane, you have children. Obviously, as Santa prepares for Christmas, if his elves don't want to make toys, stores are having deep cuts for Santa to go and buy things.
Yes, I've heard
this is
that.
a good. I mean, if the economy's terrible and a lot of people are out of a job. But if you have a little bit to spend, they are so desperate to get your money that everybody's making deep cuts.
Yeah.
On
Huge
stuff.
deals, I've heard.
Target has already cut all of their toy prices by 10% from last year. And if you use their Target credit or debit card, they'll get you an extra 5% off.
That doesn't sound like a lot, though. That doesn't fit too deep. I mean, if a $50 toy, now I'm going to pay just 10% less.
$45.
Whoa!
But I think they're hoping you'll buy everything there, and if you're spending $1,000,
you need to say 40% cut.
Walmart has done what everybody hates them for, but it's also the reason people shop there. They've gone to Target and said, okay, these are all your prices. We will beat all of them by pennies.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if you're the other retailer, you go, dang it! Quit it!
Yeah, they're ruthless.
Toys R Us has a similar deal. They're giving 10% back on holiday purchases over $500 if you join a loyalty program. But that's in-store credit. So that doesn't... Those always, anytime you have to, like, I hate rebates and stuff like this, where you're like, okay, I have homework to save money? No, thank you. Just make me pay less.
Yeah, I don't like that. They do that because it sounds great, but they know half the people won't do it.
Right.
Or will forget.
Right. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay, I have in-store credit after Christmas. Oh, that's main toy buying season.
Yeah.
Nope. Amazon.com is offering 25% off different toys, and it cycles through different toys on a regular basis, and free shipping on all stuff they have in stock. So just a little FYI.
Yeah, some of the online stuff is great, man.
If you have free shipping and you don't have to go to the store, no offense, stores, but man, that seems pretty sweet.
Even small stores now, it's one thing when it's Amazon or Target.com or one of those big ones, and you go, they got free shipping over $50. Oh, that's cool. But even some of the smaller ones now where you'd go, I'm getting a good deal on this. Oh, but shipping is $28 for this whatever.
Right.
But even those now are like free shipping over $50.
Yeah, not bad.
Man, that's pretty sweet. Yeah, so you can get some good deals online.
Remember that guy in radio we knew who would take all of the CDs that would come in from promotional purposes and then put them up on eBay for $5 and then charge $12 to ship them and spend no money shipping them because he'd mailed them out through the radio station? Mm-hmm. And so he would make 100% pure $17 profit on every one he put up on eBay.
Yeah.
And
it clearly says stamped, embossed right on the CD for promotional use only. Do not resell. Do not purchase this. Do not sell it. Don't even look at it.
And we said, by the way, who are the idiots that are paying $17 for a CD that you could go to a store and buy for $9.99? He goes, who knows? But enough of them do it that I make a lot of money. We go, how much do you make? He goes, about $8,000 a year. We're like, $8,000 a year? And the radio station's paying the shipping on that.
Yeah, he's his own Sam Goody.
Yeah, and he hasn't been fired or found out.
Yeah, that was a good scam.
It is. He's probably made an additional $40,000 over the last 5 years since he told us.
Probably,
maybe more.
Oh my God!
Up next, we've talked before about a couple of amazing coincidences recently. Things that you're like, well, that's nearly impossible. And this one is going to feel that way. It involves the exact moment that Google Street View took a photograph and what may have been captured on it.
Okay.
We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
Just like in life, all of my successes depend on me. I'm the man who has the ball. I'm the man who can throw it faster than... So that is why I am better than everyone in the world. Kiss my everyone.
Flashback later on this hour, a conversation with comedian, one of our favorites, Norm Macdonald. It always seems weird when we talk to him, but in a good way.
That clip, Kenny Powers from Eastbound and Down, have you guys started watching that yet? Have you gotten caught up on all the episodes that they show on Comcast? Joe, you said you watched the first one, Free Beer?
No, nope.
Oh, for God's sake. Do it, man. There's so many damn funny moments that you don't laugh. You're overwhelmed. I forget how one thing happens after another, ridiculous thing he says after another, that I lose track of them all, and I'm sitting there amazed at the rude, insensitive things that this guy does on his show. How funny it is.
That's one of those shows where when I eventually watch it, it's funnier for me to talk about later and go, man, I can't believe
Yeah.
that this happened or that happened or whatever.
I don't really laugh. I just sit there and I just watch. I'm just amazed. And then and like you, afterwards, then I'm like, okay, excellent.
Where you're thinking to yourself, wow, that was really not appropriate.
Show. Jesus.
It became way funnier to me when Zane started bringing clips in. When you started playing clips on air, I didn't think it was funny last year whenever the first season aired.
Instantly, I regret saying that. That was a horrible thing to say. Now, I know you're not a natural beauty, but I think with the right clothes, the right look, you could be very striking.
I might think that show's funnier on our show.
I do.
Than when I watch it. Maybe that's why I haven't watched it yet. I like the clips out of context to a caller or to one of us when we do something stupid, and it tells me that I'm not attractive. That makes me laugh. This is a pretty sweet coincidence, though it hasn't led to justice yet. But justice is on the way. I don't know if that's true. Last June, someone stole a camper parked in the driveway of a family's home in Derbyshire, England. 1 year later, thanks to just pure luck, they have a lead on who stole their camper. Now, whether or not it'll work out or not, but this story's getting enough attention, somebody's probably going to get caught. Their child, 11-year-old Reuben, was screwing around with Google Maps and Google Street View.
Yep, and that's Google has gone over the years to take snapshots of all key places in anywhere in the world, so that when you look at it, kind of panoramic view of any street corner, right?
Yeah, it's really handy. I mean, everybody's used it at this point. Instead of just knowing, like when MapQuest first came out, you'd be driving, you'd go, and you'd have no idea where to look for the business you're going to or whatever.
Right.
Now you can, use the Google Street View and see, oh, there's a KFC across the street.
Yeah.
It's great. Well, this kid was doing what everybody does, screwing around with the Google Street View, and he went, hey, I wonder if there's a picture of our house. Types in the address, and he sees his camper. And a man standing next to it with his SUV backed up to it. The photograph, police and the family believe, was taken at the exact moment that dude was backing into their driveway to steal their camper.
Oh, my gosh. The hell is the chance of that?
The photo was authenticated as taken in June of 2009 on the exact date that the camper was stolen. And there is a clear look at the guy who everyone believes stole it. So now that screenshot has been pasted all over newspapers and on television broadcasts throughout the area. And they believe it's just a matter of time until someone recognizes the guy, and then it's just a matter of, whether or not they come forward.
So is it a workout where Google actually has a person or people who their job is to just walk around and, we need 15 of these street corners.
It's a car. Yeah, a bunch of cars.
Car that goes around and does
a whole
it?
bunch of cars, all over the country.
I didn't know that. Boy, man. What an undertaking.
What a hassle.
It really is, and it's one thing like in major cities and stuff, but it's pretty much everywhere now.
Yeah,
been down
all over the place.
Unless you're out in the middle of the sticks somewhere, they've probably been down your road and taking pictures.
Really amazing.
You live in the sticks when you go to the Google the one that started it all, where you look down from the satellite view.
Google Earth,
Yeah, and you, like, let's say you're on Manhattan, you can, like, see the color of shirts that people are wearing when those images are taken. But if you live in bum F Egypt, it doesn't even get down to, like, 3,000 feet.
It's a bit pixelated.
They didn't even bother.
There's a giant cloud in the way. They don't even.
Yeah.
Who cares?
11 people live there. Screw it. No.
Those people don't have the internet.
We're not taking a picture of Iron Mountain, Michigan.
It was where I grew up, and I'm sure anybody who grew up out in the country can relate to this. There would be pilots who would fly over all of the farmers' homes and take aerial photos.
Yeah.
And then they would knock on the door and say to the farmer, hey, I took this picture of your home. Do you want to buy it for $100 or whatever? And they'd sell just enough of them. I don't know if it was a hobby or a full-time job or whatever.
Yeah.
But my parents bought one, and the guy showed them a print, and then they got it, and it was clear that, I don't know what happened, but the person that took it must have been trying to Photoshop before Photoshop was available, so it was like painting stuff on.
Oh, yeah.
But there were like giant blotches of trees in places where no tree existed, like someone had tipped over a jar of model paint and then just drew a stem underneath and went, yeah, that looks good.
I thought you were going to say, this is the view of your farm, and this deeper shaded green stuff, that's the marijuana you're growing. You either buy this from me or I'm telling the cops.
I wonder if they ever did. Probably. It's pretty good. That's good business right there. You could sell a lot of photos if you did that.
Things you could find.
Norm Macdonald in the flashback. That's next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wing Show.
Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Don't feel bad. Everyone turns the show down at work when the guys start talking about bowels.
Flashback today. Conversation with one of our favorites, the one and only Norm Macdonald. Yesterday, near the end of our workday, Joe said, hey, how do you guys feel about talking to Norm Macdonald? And we said, what?
Hell yeah.
Mm-hmm. But hell yeah, heck yeah. So we gave him a call.
We got a cell phone number, too, don't we?
We have a cell phone number now.
Mm-hmm. He's so laid back on this, I honestly believe we could call him at any time, and he'd be the same way. Oh, hey, how are you? Hey,
probably.
Guys, how you doing?
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on?
I think he is. So we got him on the phone because he's at Zany's. I'm going to note this now, and then we'll note it after, because during the actual interview, I get it all wrong every time. He's at Zany's tonight and tomorrow in Nashville. Our conversation with Norm Macdonald started with, hey, Norm, how are you?
I'm good, boys. How are you?
Very good, man. Thank you for taking time. You're one of our all-time favorites.
Oh, well, Nashville is my all-time favorite city, although I've never been there.
I like the way you work.
Well, it hasn't let you down, so.
Well, it's because when I was young and in my entire life, I've listened to old-time country music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No new stuff at all.
Yeah?
Nothing.
Boy, they're going to love you.
Nothing where it's a video of a guy in a white shirt, like walking, saying he loves a lady in a field of lilies. That ain't my kind of country. No. So I'm gonna go to Music Row and check out any bar that has like some old guy with the Jack Daniels T-shirt on. You know.
You gonna drink with him?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It'd be an honor. I love country music so much.
Who's your favorite?
Of all time, Waylon, but I never got to see him.
You're kidding.
Billy Joe Shaver. I'd like to meet Billy Joe Shaver.
You ever listen to Red Sovine?
Yes. No, I never met him.
I didn't listen to it. I know you haven't met him.
Oh, yeah, I know. I love Red Sovine, but that's going way back, man.
I know.
Now, as a good Canadian, does that mean you must like Stompin' Tom Connors?
How do you know him?
What do you mean? How do you know him?
I mean, everybody knows Stompin' Tom.
What the hell's the matter with you?
He had the greatest line. There's 3 lines. The song was called Sudbury Saturday Night, and everyone worked for the International Nickel Company.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The song about
you say
Sudbury
so.
Was, what?
I said if you say so.
Yeah, no. I'm just giving you a backstory on my story.
Okay.
So we have a song called Sudbury Saturday Night, and he goes, the boys are playing bingo, and the girls are playing bingo, and the boys are getting stinko. Nobody thinks of Inco on a Sudbury Saturday night.
That's why we love him. It's the lyrical genius like that.
But how you know him? I thought Tommy Hunter was Canada's country gentleman.
Okay.
See, now I don't know that guy.
No, I don't know that guy. When I was in Toronto one time for a visit, I didn't see a giant mural on the side of a wall of that second guy you mentioned.
Yeah.
Well, no, Stompin' Tom Connors is the coolest because he's like a folk hero in Canada. What he did is, when he was a kid, he stowed weight on a potato truck and went across Canada.
Yeah.
And wherever he went off, he just got off the truck. He would go into the local town. That day, he would write a song about the town.
Yeah.
And then go to the bar and tell the guy that he'd get free booze and a place to stay.
Well, it's funny because
within a year, he had like 100 songs about every town in Canada.
Well, it's funny because it seems like a lot of his songs he would reference potatoes. It's funny you mentioned that, potatoes and tomatoes for some reason, and that that shed some light on it.
Yeah, like in country music, booze often comes up.
Right.
Like in America and Canada, potatoes.
Talking to Norm Macdonald. He's going to be at
Potatoes are a staple, not only of your diet. Potatoes also should be a staple of your diet if you're a country singer from Canada.
For sure.
You've got to have a potato.
But listen, you know what I like about country music?
What's that?
There's some guys, right? Irish music is like this. There's some guys, all they sing about is booze. So they're like imagine you're a writer, right? You're a songwriter or something.
Yeah.
So you got writer's block or something. I don't know. You can't think of anything to write. You go, hey man, what should I write about today? Oh, I got it. The savageries of alcohol.
Talking to Norm Macdonald, of course, going to be at Zany's on November 11th and 12th. That's Friday and Saturday, right?
Friday and Saturday.
No,
that would be tonight.
That's not even close.
That'd be tonight.
Wrong information. We've given you wrong information. It's like Orson Welles did years ago. It's Wednesday. It's what is it? Wednesday and Thursday.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
You're off the page too.
Hey Norm, you may have other dates.
Check your www.
Yeah. Oh Jesus.
Yeah, you may have other dates coming up, but we wouldn't know because you don't have a website. You're the only one in the world without a website. What the hell's wrong with you?
I know. But, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
A few years ago, like not knowing about computers was kind of cute.
Yeah.
And now it's like not being able to read a book. So I gotta catch up fast.
Yeah. I think they're going to be around for a while, so you might want to do that.
Norm, I got to tell you, you made one of my favorite guest appearances on a talk show that I've ever seen by anyone. And I don't remember the woman's name, but she was plugging Carrot Top's new movie, Chairman of the Board, when you were on Conan O'Brien. And, oh my God, you ruined it and made it awesome at the same time. And I've always wanted to tell you how awesome that was.
Oh, that's nice. I feel bad if I ever say anything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Obviously, what I say, I didn't know about YouTube or anything, huh?
No, it's still there.
I don't like to hurt a guy's feelings, and then it gets played 1 trillion times.
Yeah, you never count on that.
There's nothing wrong with Carrot Top. He's a good guy. He kills,
Well, he gets beat up a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, unfairly, because like I was talking to Janine Garofalo, and I'm like, when did you ever get a laugh, anything close to what this guy gets? You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it's interesting because he does his act, but I think the bigger story now is his transformation, because I don't know what happened, but somewhere along the road he got the body of like the biggest wrestler in the world, and his face I don't know what happened to his face. Who was that guy? Was it Greg Giraldo?
Yeah.
Was it Giraldo said that he somehow became retarded?
Oh, he patted himself. Oh, I see that. That's the look he was going for.
Like he had a doctor add a gene.
So it worked.
Yeah. But, whatever. He's making money.
Like skinny guy, like when you're skinny. I was a kid when I was skinny. Maybe that's why you become a comic or something, because you got some, I don't know, you don't feel right about yourself or something.
Yeah.
But I was always skinny. I always wanted to be big, so maybe he was like that.
Yeah.
And, now I took the opposite route. I just became fat.
Well, it happens.
No, it's more fun than being skinny. Because when you're skinny, when you're a little boy, everybody, you treat you like a homosexual. And you're not, so.
Yeah, that's right. All skinny kids are homos.
Yeah, exactly. So you had to get over it. Also, when I was a kid, my name is Norman.
Yeah.
And when your name is a name, you notice it when you see it in movies or TV shows. You always notice your own name.
Right.
I started to notice this alarming trend of my name being used for like homosexuals, weak guys,
That's funny.
Characters, like a Norm from Cheers. I'm sorry.
No, it's all right.
No, you're okay.
We got high-tech equipment.
Norm on Cheers is a joke. There was Norm on Peyton Place, Ryan O'Neal's ineffectual brother,
you're right.
There's a movie called Norman, Where Are You?, where Fred Sanford's son was gay.
Norm, I have a brother named Norman, and he's a face too. Just like you.
He's a what?
He's a face too.
Hey, this is what's his name? The late comic George Miller's joke. You like George Miller?
I don't know who that is. You guys know who that is?
No. He goes, I went to my doctor. He goes, I went to my doctor and I said, I went to my psychiatrist. I said, Doc, I have a problem with my low I got a problem. I don't think anybody likes me. He said, I'm sorry. He goes, I got a problem. I think everybody thinks I'm ugly. And the doctor said, what are you talking about? That's your basic lack of security, goat face.
We're laughing at how well you told that.
That took a long time to get out.
Yeah. What happened?
I'm fatigued.
I didn't even know what you were talking about by the time the end hit.
Like my aunt.
Oh, Jesus, Norm.
My aunt tells the punchline of the joke first. And then goes, oh, damn. Damn. I just can't tell them,
Talking to
the hardest thing in the world,
Talking to Norm Macdonald. Norm,
you know what my dad does? You know what my dad does when he tells a joke?
What? No. What?
He tells a joke, and he goes, anyways, then the guy says, not you, that's for sure. And everybody laughs, and then he repeats the last part. He goes, not you for sure.
Oh, yeah. I think I do that, too.
Tries to get another laugh.
Yeah. Never get too many. Well, Norm's at Zany's. That is Tuesday the 11th and Wednesday the 12th. You can get tickets if you're in Nashville or if you want to make the flight or drive. Nashville.
Are you guys coming?
You're cool, but you ain't that cool, man. It's a school night for us.
Are any hardcore country and western music, not country and western, but western fans going to hear this?
Well, yeah, I'm sure. We hit a pretty wide swath, Norm.
Oh, they should come to the show, man.
Oh, no, that's going to be a terrific show, and anyone who's in the area has to come and see you, Norm. You've got those two nights worth of shows, so that's a good time, I'm sure.
I'll go there, and then we'll hang out there, man.
That'd be awesome.
That would be awesome. We would love that.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, dude.
Thank you, Norm. Thanks, buddy.
Rock and roll.
See you later, man. See ya. Summertime. This is the song he's talking about. He's hearing this. He's flipping because we're playing this. He likes this. This is the type of song you hear at a bar. I could write this song. You hear this, and then a fight breaks out, but everybody's still having a good old time, and they're punching the piss out of each other.
They're dancing and then punching and then dancing some more and doing a do-si-do and punching another chick. And it's cool.
There's blood and snot everywhere, and a couple of chicks are making out, and they start punching each other and everything. Beer mug in the face.
And once everybody's good and swollen and bloodied, then they put their arms around each other and walk on home. On a Sudbury Saturday night.
That's what I picture.
Because now there's Irish bands all around, and they'll have all these guys that are like, barely Irish, or their family's Irish, so they'll get in an Irish band. There should be Canadian bars where people sing folk songs like Stompin' Tom, because who wouldn't want to go to a Canadian bar and drink and watch everybody fighting?
Oh, yeah.
And drink along with awesome Stompin' Tom.
I can't understand a word. It sounds like he's doing Popeye. Hi, olive oil and Wimpy's eating my burgers and sweet peas on my knee.
It really is.
His voice is very high-pitched.
What a wonderful musician, though.
Didn't you try to get him on, and they said no? They said no one wants to.
He's too busy.
Too busy?
How old the guy is Stompin' Tom? In my mind, 110.
Oh, he's at least in his 70s.
Gotta be, yeah. I'm not sure. How many? See if we can check that out.
By the way, Norm Macdonald is amazing because he can say things that aren't funny, and it's funny to me.
Yeah, the thing is when
Yeah, it's all his delivery or awful lack thereof.
Yeah.
I noticed that as soon as it started, we immediately had to gear down and just kind of let him dictate the pace, kind of like an old quarterback.
Yeah, you have to let the stuff lay there. I mean, it just is how he is. Otherwise, it's too weird. But
that movie he did, Dirty Work, I love that movie.
I loved the show, the Norm Show.
Yeah,
I thought it was really funny, but it was certainly not for everyone. No. Not everyone is on board with the Norm Macdonald delivery.
He's an acquired taste, but one that has made a great living off it, so that's good.
And Stompin' Tom is 72, by the way.
Christian writes, you guys sure kiss some major ass whenever you have lame-ass celebrities on your show.
Christian writes that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like Norm Macdonald.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
I mean, he might not be at the height of popularity at the moment anymore. But
that's not fair.
But I like Norm Macdonald.
I disagree with him completely.
Yeah.
We didn't say much.
Well, no, in fact, I kind of do agree with him. I agree with him that we kissed ass because I'm a huge fan.
Okay.
I like him. I would have liked to
I didn't
sit
like
here
that
and
he'd call him a lame guest. I don't think Norm Macdonald's a lame guest at all.
I think he's a headliner.
Yeah.
I like Norm. If Norm wants to come on again tomorrow, I say, okay.
Yeah, I mean, he's still relevant enough to be on celebrity roasts and do stand-up headlining tours and things like that, so why not?
Funny you can find time to email when you're too busy eating Vainers. Now, go get back at it there,
yeah.
Kimasabi.
I got something for you. Get bent.
I agree with 10. I agree with Howie.
Again, I don't tell you how to cook your fries, so shut the F up.
Already to the day today, 27-year-old Walter Allen Jr. of Houston, Texas. Walter Allen Jr. decided to do some check fraud.
That's good.
Like Frank Abagnale, but less successful.
Okay.
He forged himself a $500,000 check from the Federal Reserve Bank in Atlanta. Then he took that check straight to a Bentley dealership, where his plan was to buy not one, but 2 Bentleys with his newfound fortune.
Okay. Oh, this is a good plan.
Surprisingly, that made the dealership suspicious that he just wanted to sign over a $500,000 check from the Federal Reserve. He didn't look like someone who would have $500,000 in such a way. He was buying a $245,000 white Bentley GTC and a $213,000 black Bentley Flying Spur. The people at Post Oak Motor Cars said, this doesn't feel right.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Walter Allen, would you please come back and pick up your cars later so we can have them in top condition for you?
Right, yeah.
Oh, okay, 2 o'clock? Yes. So he left. Said, I'll be seeing you too. They called the cops. Cops were waiting in the finance room. So what he got there? Oh, yeah, sir, just come on back and we'll have you sign some paperwork. We'll get you on your way. Did you bring a driver to drive home your other car? No. He was arrested for theft of more than $200,000, which is a felony.
Oh, man.
Because of prior convictions, he's facing a maximum sentence of life in prison. So because he's made so many other mistakes in his life, this, which would normally be, I think it's a 10 to 15-year sentence, will instead be every waking day the remainder of his life, all because he wanted not one, but 2 Bentleys. Not only are you stupid, but you're greedy.
Well, and he drove up in some busted joint, some old Cutlass, an 89 Cutlass Supreme with mismatched body panels.
Right.
Or some other stupid thing where you go, yeah. Mm-hmm. But the thing is, even if the dealership was dumb enough to sell it to him, those things get registered.
Probably not his.
They get license plates put on them.
He's wearing a Big Johnson softball T-shirt.
You stupid idiot.
He looks like a millionaire. Sounds like a millionaire.
Yeah, he was so close.
FreeBearandHotWigs.com, lots of stuff for you, including the webcam if you're a VIP. We'll take a break. It is the Free Bear and Hot Wigs Show.
It's time for the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
You can only say one specific word. It's, I believe, a gibberish word.
Tell me, why is it that you're moving, actually?
Tunnel.
He's the Hamburglar.
He is.
Robble, 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 robble. With free beer.
They try to get him to count to 20 here.
What happens?
I don't know.
Let's go up to 20 if you can.
What's up? 1, 2,
Oh, he's got it now.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 1, total.
Oh, he slipped into retard.
Oh, no, it broke. He fell off.
He slipped into full retard.
Hot Wings.
Well, what's the problem? He can count to 11. What else do you need?
Oh, I would so hit him.
Eric Zane.
That was somebody in my family. They'd have black eyes all the time because I'd be just punching them right in the face.
Producer Joe. And Steve. The Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
What number is this?
It's Wednesday. It's the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. There are 3 hosts, Free Beer, Hot Wings, and Eric Zane. 2 producers, Joe and Steve. Butthead Lautner, the intern, is prepared to answer your phone calls today. 1-800-947-3979. Be on your toes early because we are going to get numerous early qualifiers for the Trip for 2 to Daytona from Cat Footwear. That's for the big race in February. Airfare, tickets to the race, hotel, food and drink day of the race. It's all included.
Everything.
It's a great experience.
Mm-hmm.
You and a guest will go for that. We have not gotten a lot of early qualifiers, so we'll be getting one in the next 15 minutes.
That is great. Good news.
Mm-hmm. It's the I Can't Wait to Talk About Blank segment, whatever's on your mind, 1-800-947-3979.
I watched the show on TLC last night, or Discovery Health. I forget which one. It was the show I didn't know I was pregnant. God, man. I am a believer now that there's more to it than just our ridiculous statements that this can only happen to a person who's massively overweight.
Mm-hmm.
That there's no reason why that this should happen. There were 2 stories, and one was a woman who she was heavier, had a baby, and the weight did not come off, or whatever, for whatever reason, and she has intercourse with her man, and the condom breaks.
Mm-hmm.
So that they're, man, we better get a pregnancy test. Well, it came out negative.
Yeah.
The pregnancy test. And she had the hormone that apparently, if you're pregnant, that would manifest and show up on a pregnancy test. For some reason, it was early on, and there was a low level of it or whatever. And sure enough, it said negative, but she was pregnant and had no idea.
Yeah.
She put on 25 pounds over the next 9 months and never felt a thing. And sure enough, man, one day they're just driving home and she starts complaining of cramps with her mother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's your period. And she had irregular periods. Sometimes none at all. It's just the way that this works out is like the perfect storm for these people. It always tends to be this way. And so, but she's thinking, oh, this is my period. It finally came. And, but these cramps, she's in labor, doesn't even know it. And the way they described it on TV is they do these reenactments.
Which are always great.
But, she goes to her mom and says, Mom, I'm in terrible pain. I don't know what's the matter with me. And she says, oh, it's your period. Go to bed. Yeah, whatever. And no one would listen to her.
Thanks, Mom.
Her mom, she's screaming, and the mom puts earplugs in. Okay?
Literally?
Yeah. Jeez. Then the girl calls her sister.
Now, how old of a person is this?
22, 23, 24. Young. And she goes ahead and she calls up her sister, who lives a little ways away. Says, will you come take me to the hospital? I'm in terrible pain. I don't know what's the matter with me. And the sister says, yeah, whatever. They did the same thing. Same thing, okay? Oh. And then, so this woman, nobody will help her. Her family won't help her. She's wailing. The baby is moving through her, and it wants out.
Yeah.
She doesn't know it, though. Has no idea.
How unloved would you feel if you're telling everyone in your family you need to go to the hospital, you're in pain, and your mom puts in earplugs and your sister hangs up on you, essentially? That would feel terrible.
Well, this is full term. This is a full term baby.
Now, I don't know the rest of the details, and I'll let you finish.
Yeah.
Kanye said, but this is a whole family of really stupid people, because for one, if your kid is screaming in pain, especially an adult who obviously knows enough to know when pain is occurring and when it's not, and you don't take them, you're stupid. You're an a-hole. But if you go, I mean, how many people just put on 25 pounds over the course of 9 months and don't think to themselves, well, geez, nothing's changed in I'm eating the same and everything else, but I put on 25 pounds mysteriously right in the middle of my body. I really should go to the doctor. Something's happening.
I think people rationalize stuff like that. They say, well, I haven't been moving around as much. I'm getting a little older.
It crept up on her. But it really did.
But still, I still think, I maintain that you still have to be kind of stupid. Well, you have to put blinders on not to recognize something weird is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure there is a little bit of the, cover up my eyes and just pretend that everything's fine.
Yeah.
But she felt fine.
Mm-hmm.
So here she is. She's in labor, doesn't even know it. No one will help her. She calls 911. Okay, even their mom's in the next room.
What do? Tell her to throw acid in her face and shut up?
Yeah.
The way it's going.
They send an ambulance, but they live in a rural area, so it's going to take a little while.
Mm-hmm.
And she's screaming on the phone. Finally, mom wakes up. On the reenactment, they show the girl. Instinctively, she rips off her pants and opens her legs because she feels pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And the mom, you can hear on the actual 911 footage, oh my God, my daughter! I see a head coming out of her.
Come on,
yeah. And sure enough, man, here comes the baby. And they right away, okay, so in this instant that the girl rips off her pants, it's not till right then. Imagine that. You think you're just sick and you're in terrible, you're having some type of bowel problem or whatever. Oh no, there's a baby there. So she pushes, and sure enough, the paramedic is on the phone with the mom and talks her through it. And baby comes out and the umbilical cord is wrapped around the baby's neck. She had to manipulate that. She used a ribbon to tie the cord, and she had the freaking baby. The baby was fine.
Did you say this was her first child?
Second
child.
Yeah, second child. Unbelievable.
Wow.
And then they followed it up with a girl who was slight, very thin.
Mm-hmm.
And what is so funny? You're cracking up.
Just the idea that instinctively she ripped her pants off and everybody went,
oh yeah,
a head! Yeah. There's a head in your vagina!
Yeah, that's exactly
crazy.
What happened. It truly. I mean, and then there's this tiny girl. She was thin, and the backstory is her newlyweds pretty much, and they wanted to wait on kids because financially they weren't quite where they wanted to be. So, they for backstory, they talked about how they partied a few times during this 9-month period of heavy drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day they're just sitting around the house, and she goes to bed early, and she feels terrible pain in her back, and she's skinny.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what's amazing. And she had normal periods somehow during this, at the time, the beginning of the month, she indicated, and she ends up going to the hospital, and the docs took blood work and says, yeah, you're pregnant. And she goes, well, that's impossible. I just had a period last month, and I'm on the pill. And they said, nope, you are absolutely pregnant, and the blood that we're seeing, we're thinking you're having a miscarriage. And they're like, what the heck, So the doctor thinks it's pretty early on in the pregnancy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then they do an ultrasound, and she's 34 weeks pregnant.
Of 40.
They go, whoa, you're not miscarrying. You're having a baby right now. Get her to the delivery room immediately. 30 minutes later, then the worst part was her blood pressure is going high. She's got high blood pressure for this. Somehow they're fearing she's going to stroke out. I mean, they said, you're going to die. They're thinking to themselves.
The mom.
the docs are talking amongst themselves, and the mom she's stroking out big time.
Mm-hmm.
So they got to get this baby out. So the way they described it was the doctor grabbed the scalpel and made a huge cut and made her ass and cooch one.
Oh, God. Yuck.
And the mother is in there. The mom had been called. So the mom's standing, and she goes, and they went to commercial right when she said, and I'm looking at this doctor in what turns out to be this crazy panic moment where he made the canal bigger with this big, and she described him as standing in a pool of her blood.
Turns out he's a terrible doctor. The first cut he made was across her forehead. Oh, there's no baby in there, but that's going to scar badly.
Yeah, sure enough, that extra little room, the baby just glided right out, and blood pressure stabilized, good to go, a couple stitches, extra one for the husband.
For dad.
What do they call those sympathy stitches?
Pleasure stitch.
Pleasure stitch. Make it extra, tighten it up.
Yeah.
Good amount of healing, you'll be good as new.
Man, what do you do? So there you are in the hospital, you're recovering, there's a baby in your arms. You don't have one preparation made.
Oh my God.
Not one thing in your home is ready for a baby.
No. And that's the thing. The first thing that she did was she said, okay, now they're going to go test the baby. She indicated that she had been hammered during this pregnancy and smoked and drank.
Mm-hmm.
So right away she's like worried if there's some type of issue. She didn't want the kid, looking like Tracy McGrady.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And, not black, but eyes spaced far apart. Right. He looks like a FAS baby. But that kid was fine. But unbelievable, man. Yeah, I can't believe it.
And you hear about people when they get surprised with a pregnancy and they're young or old and they have no preparations, and it's 3 months of tearing your hair out trying to get things together because you can't believe what's going on. I just can't imagine that. Yep. Oh, that baby on your chest. In 3 days, you're taking it home.
Yep.
And you're going to have to find a new place for your razor blade collection and all the other stuff that makes your house dangerous.
Now,
I know you don't even have a bottle.
Yeah, that really would be about as shocking as me going home today and there's an elephant in my backyard, and someone says, you must now take care of this forever. And I go, well, what?
I hope you're prepared.
I don't even know what to do with an elephant.
I hope you know about elephanting.
So that being said, let's go back to the just a 2-minute, 15-second clip where...
Let's save that for the next segment.
Yes.
Because this is... And maybe there's a longer segment we could play, because it's too funny.
It is too funny because
awesome.
Our insensitivity really shined when we talked about this.
Our shining insensitivity.
Man, God, that was great. But yeah, Steve, my opinion, I think, has changed a little after watching this show last night.
Does that mean you're going to feel badly about what we said?
I love being insulting and rude for a laugh. In fact, we just had that conversation earlier in the week about people who do marathons too slow and why bother. They shouldn't even be in the race. Well, at running school, I ran one of the guys who was there yesterday. He knows people personally who heard that, and they were very affected by it. And I was like, well, come on now. No biggie. It's just being funny.
Mm-hmm.
And they shouldn't be doing marathons if they're that slow.
Yeah.
You know how we're going to start this race, right? I want to hear boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. You with me?
Everybody in the crowd on their feet. And they're scattering everywhere as they come to the line. It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. Side by side of the line. Coming to the checkers. Oh.
They're wrecking everywhere. There he goes.
Spank that monkey. You can't let him. You got to knock him off, and that's what I did on Sunday. I hope he doesn't stick with you.
This guy is smoking balls tonight.
Caller 31 right now. You'll get qualified to win the trip for two to Daytona for the big race in February from our friends at Cat Footwear, catfootwear.com. They're going to take care of your airfare, your hotel, your tickets to the race for you and a guest. You're going to have a great time. But you got to get qualified first. That's caller 31. And then 3 qualifiers will be chosen to play stock car math. The winner of that round
will be our champion, and they'll be making plans for Daytona. Well, they won't have to make plans. Kat does all that.
Yep.
You just have to show up.
Be on time.
1-800-947-3979, caller 31 right now. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
You know, it's funny how the mind works, because I've heard the original version of that song so many times. Even when he's saying Fox News, that's not what I'm hearing. I know it's what he's saying because I'm concentrating on it.
Yeah.
But my mind says F you every time when it goes to that point. Same thing when we play a clip that you've heard a million times and you've heard the uncensored version of it, but like of something from a movie or whatever. When we play that on the show and we play it bleeped, if you asked me and I didn't know any better, I'd be like, oh, no, we just played a swear word.
Yeah.
Because definitely. It's funny how the mind tricks you out like that.
For sure.
Yep. By the way, Parents Television Council, we'll have to talk about this later. They released, it's not a list per se of the 18 words you should never say on television, but it is the words that they track. And thus you could make the leap that they're the words they say should not be said on primetime television.
Okay.
And since radio draws its cue from television in a lot of cases, there are a lot of words that we're going to have to stop using.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, 18 is a big number.
Yeah. If you say the word crap, starting going forward, I will have to hit the dump button, according to the Parents Television Council.
Crap!
Come on!
Sorry.
Loose cannon.
Sorry about
That's one of them.
Oh, man.
Douche. Out.
What? Oh, man. Hang on. Now
okay.
I got to rewrite half my commentary.
Douche is not good.
What's your commentary? Crappy douche?
It is. So I don't know what I'm going to do now.
1-800-947-3979. Steve, who's our latest qualifier?
It is Dave Wick in Holland, Michigan.
Dave gets qualified. He'll have a chance to, if he's randomly selected to be one of the three contestants, he'll play Stock Car Math. And if he wins that, he'll be on the way to Daytona from Cat Footwear. We'll get 3 more qualifiers today. We only did one, or rather we missed one on Monday, so we got one to make up. Also, tomorrow, Dumber Than Zane Trivia presented by Cat Footwear, $5,600. If you win, it goes to $6,000. That is, and I mean no disrespect when I say this, but I would have guessed that's impossible.
Well, that's a lot.
Just because it's a lot of wins in a row.
Now, before we get to Paired with an Idiot, we talked about playing the clip from the person who made the 911 call, and we made fun of them about his wife being pregnant. They didn't know she was pregnant, and we had a rip session about that. So you said that we want to get to that after Paired with an Idiot, so in case people were waiting, expecting that right now. But we have the audio also that we have to play, the trailer from ABC's 2020 at some point, because they heard about this story, Medical Mystery, tonight on 2020, contacted us, we gave our audio, and they picked out pieces, and their angle was, they had a baby. Why is this radio show attacking them?
I've never felt like
the deal with these jerks.
Such poor behavior has been so glorified, even though they had no intention of glorifying it. It felt like that's what happened. Yeah. We'll get to all of that before the end of this hour, so in the next 30 minutes, but all the pregnancy stuff will be in the next segment. We were going to play Paired with an Idiot. Do either of you have the lists? Because
Yes,
oh, you do?
Zane
Okay.
does, yes.
They were brought in.
Yep.
That is good.
I don't know who's hosting the game. But
I hosted last week, so it's one of you guys. You played rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, I lost. Yep.
Let us meet our contestants. This is Buddy in Kokomo. Hi, Buddy.
What's going on, fellas?
Not much. Welcome to the show. And Cindy in Vermont. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
Welcome. Buddy and Cindy are our contestants. This game, not unlike $25,000 Pyramid. Zane will be your game show host. Hot Wings and I will be the quote-unquote celebrity teammates.
Okay.
Celebrity's a strong word.
Buddy, who do you want on your team, Free Beer or Hot Wings?
Let's go with Free Beer.
All right. Cindy, to randomly distribute the list, choose what list you want, list 1 or list 2?
List 2.
Excellent. Okay. Free Beer and Buddy will go with list 1. Free Beer, there you go. Hot Wings.
Yeah.
One you can follow along with. Butthead Lautner made the list. I see them. He has, he's kept it much easier to manipulate this time around. He had some really wordy, wordy, I think he's learned his lesson. He got beat up pretty bad last time he did this game.
Hot Wings was mad at him.
It was
it was a little hard to describe things like third track from Jethro Tull's 8th album.
Mm-hmm.
That's a little tough.
It wasn't that bad.
That's
bad.
just ridiculous.
Pretty close.
It wasn't that bad.
It was pretty bad. It was bad, but not that bad. Close. But anyway, buddy. No, it wasn't. Buddy, Hot Wings will be describing for you. I should say Free Beer will be describing for you things that you see on a freeway or an interstate, okay?
All right.
All right, buddy. Free Beer, are you ready?
Only listeners can pass, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's a key thing. I'm hearing a lot of noise. I don't know what that is.
Yeah, is one of you a dispatcher or something?
No.
Okay. All right, it seems to fix
It's
itself.
making so much noise.
Buddy, only you can pass, as Free Beer said. And things you see on a freeway. On your mark, get set, begin.
All right, buddy, these would be the things that you drive in.
Car.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You drive over this if there's a river or a gorge.
Bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
This would be the thing that gives you directions. An example would be a stop blank.
Stop sign.
Yes.
These are an animal that lots of people strike with their car. Some of them have antlers. The males do.
Ears.
Yeah.
This would be at the center of the road. Sometimes it's dotted if you can pass, and other times it's solid if you can't.
Line.
What color?
Yellow line.
Yeah. This is where you would This is where you would rest your car if you had to.
No,
jeez, I'm stupid. This is semi-drivers are known as this.
Truck drivers.
Shorter would just be
Semi-driver.
Mm-hmm. You said truck drivers. It's not truck drivers.
Oh boy,
I can't be mad because I almost said stop, and then in correcting myself said rest, and the word that I wasn't supposed to say was rest and stop. That was pathetic.
All right, buddy.
I can't believe we only got 5. That wasn't very good, buddy.
5. Hot Wings.
Truckers was what we were trying to get to.
That last one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Truckers.
All right, Cindy. How do you feel about all this?
Kind of nervous, but I'm all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. No need to be nervous.
Okay.
Hot Wings will be describing for you, and same rules apply on passing and stuff like that. Things you see on an airplane. Things you see on an airplane.
Okay.
Okay.
60 seconds. On your mark. Get set. Begin.
This is the person who flies the plane.
Pilot.
Yes. This is what powers the plane.
Engine.
Yep.
Yes. This is where the pilot sits.
Cockpit.
This is the person who brings you peanuts.
Stewardess.
A newer name for stewardess.
Attendant.
A blank attendant.
Airline attendant.
Nope.
Pass.
This is a thing, if you get sick, you would pull this out of the seat back and...
A vomit bag.
Yes. That's amazing. This is the thing that goes down the aisle that the flight attendant brings all the drinks on.
Cart. Food cart.
It is. What do you do to the cart? If you're not pulling it, but...
Push cart.
Yes. This is the thing that gets illuminated to tell you to buckle in.
Seatbelt.
Seatbelt.
The light, the head, the...
Time!
Light.
Oh!
Unbelievable.
No! It was seatbelt sign.
Sorry.
But that's okay. That's okay.
What really hurt you, obviously, was air attendant. But it was looking for flight attendant. What was amazing is you struggled to get that one and then nailed vomit bag, the exact 2 words used, which there are a lot of, people barf bag or whatever.
Nobody calls it a vomit bag, though. The fact that you got vomit bag was amazing because normal and everybody else would write barf bag, but
I've had to use one a couple times.
But you actually said it the way he wrote it, so it was good. It was amazing, but you missed flight attendant.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
All right. 5-5 then, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, it's rock, paper, scissors time.
All right, buddy, we got a puncher's
5
chance.
to 5.
I'm pretty stupid today. I'll probably get outsmarted in rock, paper, scissors. It's a decent chance.
Okay.
All right. Ready?
Yep.
1, 2, 3, throw. We both throw
have
paper.
Yep.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, throw. We both have paper. Oh, this is the conundrum now.
Yep. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, throw. Yeah, so I have rock. Howings has paper. Yeah.
Hey, this will be easier to follow along with if both listeners turn up their radio really loud.
Mm-hmm. That's always good.
The radio?
Yeah, turn it up.
Yeah.
Turn it real loud.
Yeah, that'll help.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep, that'll help. Okay.
Howings leads 1-0.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, throw. Both have paper.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, throw. Yeah, I'm going paper no matter what. Hot Wings wins 2-0. We'll hear it again in a second.
Radio?
Yeah, turn it up. Turn it real loud.
Okay.
That'll help. Okay. Howings leads 1-0.
I wonder what's going to happen.
I don't know, man.
1, 2, 3, throw. Yeah, I'm going paper no matter what. Howings wins 2-0.
Sounds good. It's a good show. I like this show.
I'm going to enjoy it when it comes all the way around again.
Buddy and Cindy, good job and hold on. Buddy, I let you down twice. I couldn't help you when the game was played, and I was worse on rock, paper, scissors. Up next, our very sensitive and caring thoughts on an amazing news story about a surprising childbirth. Sort of. That's next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
In the next 25 minutes, President Bush spoke more. He's making the rounds right now because of his new book. He did a book signing near Dallas, and there were people who waited in line to get his signature on a book for 18 hours at a bookstore.
Wow. 18.
That's ridiculous, no matter who you're waiting for. But also we got to talk about one of the things he was shown by Mother Bush.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Weird.
Yeah. One of the things he was shown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he revealed it, or it just happened?
No, I'm not sure how long. I think it happened a while ago.
It would have had to have been quite a long time ago.
I hope so.
Yeah, I would
hope
think.
it was a long time ago.
Shaped part of who he is.
Earlier this hour, Zane brought up the show Unplanned Pregnancies. Is that what it's called? Or the show about unplanned pregnancies, where people don't know they're pregnant.
Yeah, it was. I didn't know I was pregnant, is what they call it.
And it reminded us of a time where someone didn't know they were pregnant, not far from where we live. And we covered it extensively on the show, and it ended up getting some national attention for a variety of reasons. But I actually believe this may be the funniest 10 minutes we've ever had on the show. Ryan Emmons and his wife, Carrie, when they called 911 while Carrie was in the bathtub, they didn't even know she was pregnant, and all of a sudden, there they are.
Carrie, you're getting on the floor.
911.
Yes, ma'am. My wife is in the bathroom. She's bleeding all over the place. She thinks she's having a baby.
And I am stupid.
Oh, my God, Carrie, get on the... She's in the bathtub.
She's having the baby?
I think she's in labor right now.
Okay.
Oh, my God, I can't hear you, ma'am. Oh, my God, I'm looking at a baby.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, my goodness. That's crazy. They had no idea.
He was moderately calm until, oh, my God, I'm looking at a baby.
I think he didn't believe her.
Yeah,
when she was saying, I'm having a baby, he was like, oh, okay, you're crazy, you're bleeding.
Probably.
Congratulations, you just made a Free Beer and Hot Wings show intro.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Oh, my God, I can't hear you, ma'am. Oh, my God, I'm looking at a baby.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, my God. Oh,
okay,
my God.
hold on.
My wife was pregnant.
You didn't know she was pregnant?
No.
Okay.
You're dumb.
I had no idea my wife was pregnant.
Okay.
Oh, my God, my wife is holding a baby. I had no idea my wife was pregnant.
Okay.
Wait, so first he screams, oh, my God, there's a baby. Next thing, she's holding it. What'd she do? Pull it out like she's pulling someone through in some sort of crazy dance on roller skates? I mean,
the thing that's even more remarkable about this is it's their fourth child. They've had kids before.
Well, no wonder it just flew out of them.
So I guess, yeah, I mean, the road had been widened in recent expansion.
It's like throwing a pickle down the hall.
So
it's like
that explains that. But
it's like a little fart. Done. Put in your... I better not say it.
How old is she?
27
What?
years old. She's
delivered.
She's huge.
She's had 3 children. 2 are mine. 1 is before me.
Someone I don't know.
She's fine. Oh, my God, I'm looking at a baby.
Okay, calm down, okay?
It's a boy.
this is great.
It's a boy.
Oh, this is great. All right, there's a lot more. Second clip. 911 operator asks the man if the baby's crying.
Help's on the way, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to tell you what to do.
Okay.
Okay?
I don't need help. I can do anything.
So, is the baby crying or breathing?
Pardon?
You need to check the baby and tell me if the baby's crying or breathing.
It's crying.
She's crying?
Yeah, she's looking at it and everything. Yeah.
The baby's crying.
Is the baby crying? Yeah, off and on. Yeah, she's got cooling and stuff.
Okay, listen. We need to get a cloth. You need to dry the baby off.
Again, they didn't know she was pregnant. Think about that.
Yeah, like a minute before this, the guy was going, she's bleeding everywhere. Oh, my God, a baby!
They shouldn't even have the emergency crews show up. They should have some social service paddy wagon kick down the door, subdue this a-hole, and take the baby immediately.
Get a clean, dry towel.
Quick, towel, bathroom, go. Oh, my God.
Wrap a towel around the baby to keep him warm, okay?
Okay.
After you get him dried off.
What's a towel?
What? He opened the cabinet. There's towels in here! I didn't know we had towels! These are white!
Oh, my God. Okay, the whatever the placenta's out. Okay, yep.
The placenta?
Oh, dinner.
Okay, but just don't push, okay? I don't want her to push.
Why would she push? She's holding the baby, they said.
Yeah, but they didn't know that they were pregnant, so they need to be told the obvious.
That might be 50
I
more.
think she could hemorrhage if she has to push something to do with the placenta.
Oh,
I think
see.
that's what she's referencing.
Okay, so he has to slowly pull it out, I guess.
The word is push. Can you spell that and define push for me?
It sounds like their other children are there. I'm sure they are.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, they got 3 other kids.
They're diving in the bathtub.
I'm sure they'll never have to tell a therapist about that moment.
You know, we quit smoking, and my wife put on a little bit of weight, and I thought that's what it was. I did not know she was pregnant. Excuse my language.
That's okay.
I did not realize she was pregnant.
Okay, but I want you to tell me are you right there with her?
Yes.
Okay, she's not bleeding profusely, is she?
Honey, you're not bleeding real bad, are you? No, she's not.
Okay.
I'm making dinner.
Can't you look?
What does blood look like?
He's afraid a dog's going to fly out.
Oh, my God. This is so bizarre. Oh, my God.
What's bizarre, sir? That I managed to call you.
I was trying to order pizza while playing Halo.
This is her 4th kid. I can't believe she doesn't know.
Don't blame her. She's not totally to blame. It's you, too.
Yeah, you're both.
Oh, my Lord. I'm blown away.
How's the color on the baby looking?
Black. Maybe she did know. Just he didn't.
On the baby looking?
He's fine.
Okay.
He's perfectly fine.
Good deal.
He's got an afro. We have implied so much.
He looks like Travis Henry.
In just 3 2-minute clips, we have made so many implications of bombastic proportions that I couldn't be happier. This is the greatest day ever.
I'm looking right at him. It's my kid.
Yes, so you think.
Mm-hmm.
He looks just like me.
No, it doesn't.
I'm also bald and nude.
Yeah, you have a squashy, weird-looking wet head, too.
Yeah.
Because all babies look like that.
I put my feet over my face all the time. All right.
So unfair. They're happy moment, but well, that's what happens when you give birth in a bathtub.
And don't know it.
But, you know, when you're this stupid, you're amazed by simple things, though. So his mind must be blown. So, like today, for example, if this hadn't happened, his mind would have been blown when he went outside and went, a cricket!
Okay, we're going to work on tying the cord off, okay?
My shoes are Velcro.
I was just going to say, I'll bet you're Velcro. This is Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good.
You're the new mom's cousin?
I am.
This had to be incredibly shocking.
Yeah. First of all, cut the tape. I mean, if you guys don't mind me, videotaping the birth of your children or whatever, then, that's fine. Cut the tape.
Cut the what?
We don't need to play the tape anymore.
It's amazing.
It is very amazing, but he's not stupid.
Yes, he is. He clearly is.
I'm sure they are a good family.
Wait a minute.
There's some satire involved.
I'm sure they're
here,
a good
obviously.
family.
So we're just picking
But
on
look, seriously,
Yeah.
you must ask yourself, how in the world could a human being not know that another was pregnant? And you've thought it at the family reunions.
This is the second person I know that has happened to.
No kidding.
Yes.
That has to be.
So you're saying say no to the tape, right?
Yeah, I
Don't
wouldn't.
play the tape anymore.
No, I don't think I would want people to hear me giving birth.
Okay.
Well, but
I mean, hey, it's public information. It's been all over the news and everything. It's not like we
have you
broke
seen
it.
some of the blogs that people have put? It's like,
Yeah.
No, I
what are they
haven't.
saying? Because we haven't said anything mean.
If these blogs, the people that are leaving these blogs, they're like, oh, if she didn't know she was pregnant, she must have been really fat.
Oh, that's
And I'm just
rude.
like, dude,
That
if
is
you have
terrible.
nothing better to do with your life
What a rude thing to say.
than put blogs on
Yeah.
woodtv.com or whatever.
I agree. Yeah.
Go get a job.
You're darn
Stop
right.
living off me and go get a job.
They actually said that?
Yes.
That is awful.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kim.
We've been good about this.
Yeah, I mean,
I can't commit to the promise not to play more of the call. There's
too
that's
much
awesome left.
That's a human interest story.
We are
there.
not going to play.
We're not here to mock or make
You're
jokes
right.
or
We're
fun
here
like
to-
all those idiot bloggers on that website.
Shock jocks. We will not play one more second of this 911.
It's not going to be the same.
We will not play one more second of this 911 call.
Okay, we're going to work on tying the cord off, okay?
Okay.
So you need to have someone go find a piece of string or a shoelace.
You guys, find me a piece of string or like a shoelace or something.
Take it out of a tennis
Define string.
shoe if you have to.
Use the one that keeps the raccoon under the porch. Nope, I guess I can still do it.
Kids, go out in the front yard and get the rope out of the dryer.
All right. We will.
I read that on a blog. Those stupid bloggers.
Rude.
Quote, that is not funny. Unquote.
That is not funny.
I can't believe that somebody wrote that.
More of this
Take it out of a tennis shoe if you have to. I don't care what shoe.
I don't have shoes, Paul.
Oh, my God. How could you possibly be pregnant?
I don't know. Well, surprise.
Oh, my God.
Operator,
Now you
in a
need to
moment of
take that
levity.
shoestring and you need to tie it around the umbilical cord about 6 inches from the baby.
6 inches down, she said, tie the cord off.
From the baby's belly.
EMS gets there and it's around the kid's neck.
Don't cut the cord. Just tie the shoelace.
How tight?
Tight.
How tight?
Pretty tight.
Pretty tight, but don't cut, don't sever it.
Tell me when it's done, okay?
Yep, that's good.
Hello?
This is the mother now.
Hello? Hi. Hi. Okay, so what's going on with baby? Is he dirty?
Yeah, it looks like he's got meconium on his head.
A cone on his head?
No, like the baby, the poop.
Oh, poop, okay.
What word did she use? That was like a really crazy clinical
She
term.
actually did. Yeah, she was correct.
I had no idea.
Is that, I've never really looked at a baby that close right after, so I don't know.
They're usually wiped off
I'm normally hammered.
before you get them.
That was on a blog.
That was on a blog.
Can you believe those bloggers?
No.
That is, how rude.
That is ridiculous.
So the paramedics are going to be there soon.
Okay.
Okay, it's just he's going to have that goopy stuff all over him.
Okay.
But he's still breathing okay?
Should I eat it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Blowing bubbles.
He's blowing bubbles?
Yeah.
Okay.
Bubbles is the dog.
I knew it.
What a surprise.
Yeah, it was.
What was?
How you feeling?
Oh.
A little bit sore, but for the most part, pretty good.
Okay.
Ready for sex?
Oh.
Joe's blitzed in there. He just spit because he's laughing too.
And you can hear him through the glass.
Crazily.
All right. Final cut.
Okay.
Can you sit on the edge of the tub? I understand that, honey.
That's right. My crack hurts.
That's a quote.
Can you sit on the edge of the tub? I understand that, honey.
We need more women to refer to that as a crack. Again, times 1,000.
Can you sit on the edge of the tub? I understand that, honey.
Wow. Now, upon further review, she actually did say crotch, but still.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, either way.
There's a good punch to it.
Sure was.
Golly, man.
That ended up being, so that day, later down the road, 2020, ABC came to Joe and said, can we get the audio of that?
Yeah, we want to do a special medical mysteries segment on it on 2020. We're going to need the audio, and this is how they spun our show into the actual piece. All right, it was there. You witnessed it. Free Run Hot Wing Show on 2020.
Plus, a very different 911 call.
Oh my God, I'm looking at a baby.
Okay, hold on.
It's a boy.
But this birth delivers a shock and a medical mystery.
Oh my God, how could you possibly be pregnant?
I just don't understand how someone could not know they were pregnant.
Does this couple deserve to be ridiculed?
You know, when you're this stupid, you're amazed by simple things. So.
Special delivery.
Just days after giving birth, word gets out about Carrie and Ryan's surprise pregnancy.
A Pearson husband and wife are the proud parents of a baby boy.
The 911 call is released to the media, and the public reaction stuns the couple.
Oh my God, my wife is holding a baby.
Oh, well, that's what happens when you give birth in a bathtub
and don't know it.
But, you know, when you're this stupid, you're amazed by simple things. So.
One of my best friends that called me and told me the local radio station was dragging her name through the mud, and of course, it really ticked me off.
Stations around the country pick up the story.
Just take the baby now. They shouldn't even have the emergency crews show up. They should have some social service paddy wagon kick down the door, subdue this a-hole, and take the baby immediately.
It's Kimberly and Beck, the Breakfast Buzz 98.
Nobody knew she was pregnant. She didn't know she was pregnant. Her husband didn't know she was pregnant.
Breakfast Buzz. Yeah. Breakfast Buzz was very biting. Yeah, and they showed the Breakfast Buzz.
Yeah, the Breakfast Buzz got their logo and their name mentioned.
We didn't.
They made us seem like villains, and they didn't even tell everyone who we are.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet, dude.
I remember watching that 2020 and thinking to myself, this is like everything else. Whenever a TV show asks for audio, they always think about using it, then they cut it all out and don't use it. So then in the intro of the show, they play that clip, and I go,
villains.
Subdue this a-hole.
Oh, they didn't get it because they thought we were hilarious.
Take the baby immediately.
President Bush, former President George W. Bush, had more to say yesterday as he makes the rounds in the interview. And wait till you hear what his mom showed him. Like Hot Wing said, it helped to form who he was.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the way. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wing Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
Okay, we're going to work on tying the cord up, okay?
My shoes are Velcro.
I was just going to say, I'll bet you're Velcro. Still funny. 1-800-947-3979. In a moment, President Bush speaks out again, and his mom showed him something that he'll never forget. Tell you what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Later this hour, 10 obsolete technologies that people won't let die. Number 1 on the list, I don't remember it even being remotely alive at any time during my life. I can't believe that anyone still uses it now. I think they're actually wrong. I don't think there'll be one person listening who's done it. So we'll get to that coming up. Also, a controversy was renewed late in the show yesterday that we need to get more people involved in. We'll do that in about 15 minutes. And in the next 10, we'll be getting a qualifier. Or actually, in the next 20, we'll be getting a qualifier for the trip for 2 to Daytona from Cat Footwear for the big race in February.
President's selling some books, man.
Oh, is he?
This memoir. He's making the rounds all over the place. And Oprah Winfrey had him on, and there is several key points that we need to focus on. First of all, George W. Bush talks about this one incident, having dinner with his parents and wife. And, of course, he'd been drinking at the time. I don't think he doesn't drink anymore. Is that what he's calling? Is that what the word is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he used to live pretty hard, though.
Yeah, a long time ago now.
Okay.
So I'm sitting next to a lovely 50-year-old woman at a dinner table in Maine, and I'd had too much to drink, and I said, "What is sex like after 50?" The problem was my mother and my wife and my father weren't really happy with me saying that. And I tell the story because alcohol at times made me a fool. The end of the story is this. So when I was governor of Texas, I turned 50, and I got a note from the lady and said, "Well, what's the answer?"
You did not. No, that's a fun story to tell in political speeches.
Yeah, it's a good story.
You did not get a note from the woman saying, "Well, what's it like?" Can you imagine?
I do think he'd be fun. I hated him as a president, but man, it'd be fun to have a beer with that guy.
Oh, yeah.
He's funny. He's charming.
He seems like a really nice guy. I mean,
same with Clinton.
He might have been a terrible president, but yeah, getting those two guys together for a couple of, I mean,
just be a fly on the wall.
That he can't, that he can't just have a beer with you, but man, yeah, just hanging out would be fun.
Then the Katrina thing came up, and this is that whole business about racism. Kanye said, he doesn't like black people. That pissed him off bad.
I don't understand why somebody would accuse me of being a racist. There's no justification for that whatsoever, and frankly, it speaks to the ugliness of the American political scene.
Do you not understand how that picture of you looking out of the helicopter and all of these being black, disenfranchised, poor people, and the reaction not being sooner? Can you see how the perception would be that you were racist?
I cannot see that. I can see how the perception would be maybe Bush didn't care. But to accuse me of being a racist is disgusting.
Yeah, if you think back to that time, there was a lot of that whole, those people aren't getting help because they're black. I think a lot of people thought that.
Yeah, Kanye just happened
for
to.
Sure.
Yeah, he had just said it at the biggest forum, but a lot of people voiced that.
It was so slow. There was so many problems with that whole scenario.
Well, and, part of it was that they were just overwhelmed. People go, well, what happens? All these hurricanes in Florida and everything. And I was looking it up, and Hurricane Andrew, I mean, you guys remember that when that thing came in. This is a long time ago now. It was 1992, but it was huge. I mean, that thing came in and just destroyed half of Florida. Caused $26.5 billion worth of damage.
Right.
It was like half the amount of destruction that Katrina caused. Mm-hmm. The death toll was way less because it's not, it's only not much above sea level, but it's not underwater, Florida. So, yeah, they were terrible, but it was, comparing the two, when people say, when something hits Florida, they take care of it. It's like, well, the scenarios are different, though. It's just, they were overwhelmed. They weren't prepared. There's no doubt about that. There was a real shortcoming, but I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that there were more blacks in Louisiana than in Florida.
Right. They did a poor job, but there were a lot more reasons. There wasn't one reason why they failed. There were a lot of reasons.
George Bush doesn't care about black people.
It's all relative, though, because, if there was a flood, and I think it was in North Dakota not long after that, where one town was wiped out. And while it wasn't near the damage that happened to New Orleans as far as scale, to those 4,000 people that lived there and the several that lost their lives, it was equally tragic, and they got no response.
No.
Mm-mm.
Bush goes on to talk with Oprah Winfrey about being recognized, like on the street.
And, one of the sacrifices you make is loss of anonymity. I can't walk down the street and people.
I'm amazed he got that word right, by the way.
I know. That's
an upset.
Pretty good word.
Where's Bush? And it's like the guy said, anybody ever say you look like George W. Bush? Yeah, it happens all the time. Anyway, so.
That's never happened.
Show must make you mad. Anyway, so.
Oh, boy.
They love him.
They love him. If he said, take off your panties, they'd be off right there.
You're right.
Yeah. Get nude. They would absolutely.
How often can he be walking down the street by himself? The former presidents always have Secret Service. So who is dumb enough to go, wow, you look just like George W. Bush, especially with these 4 men surrounding you wearing black suits and sunglasses.
Yeah, I can't imagine it happens terribly often.
That's ridiculous.
It's a great story, though.
Final clip is about him helping around the house. This is, I'm sure, more charming stuff.
So I'm lying on the couch, and she walks in. I said, free at last. And she says, yeah, you're free, all right. You're free to do the dishes. We were talking to the former president, baby, and she said, consider your new domestic policy agenda.
I think
these are all the house of comedy. What that is.
It's like crappy roast lines or something like that.
It is. No wonder their marriage is so successful.
These are setups, and I mean, these are.
I don't think Oprah liked him too much when he was president either. But
no, she didn't. Not at all.
Of course not.
Yeah. Now she's in love. You can hear it. Oh, Mr. President.
Oh, she wants to be on him.
Oh, you.
I don't need you today, Gail. I'm going to sit on the president.
Can you smell me flowing?
So when President Bush was a teenager, his mother, Barbara Bush, the wife of George Herbert Walker Bush, we all know, showed him a fetus that she put in a jar after suffering a miscarriage. He reveals that in his new memoir.
Yeah, this is just amazing.
And that when he was a teen, she showed him the fetus, and he says, quote, "There's no question that affected me, a philosophy that we should respect life." That's what he told Matt Lauer, referring to the event. "I never expected to see the remains of a fetus which she had saved in a jar to bring to the hospital. There was a human life, a little brother or sister."
Yeah,
that's not cool, Mom.
Amazing.
Don't show me that.
Yeah, of all the things, she's pregnant, has a miscarriage at the house, and nothing you can do. But she put it in a jar so she could take it to the hospital.
So she delivered it at home and then just kind of threw it in a jar.
She miscarried at home, and rather than, I guess she thought, well, I don't know what to do. I mean, what do I do with this?
Well, hot.
You would feel kind of weird going, well, I'll just throw it away or whatever. I'm sure she wanted to go to get checked out. She'd go, well, while I'm going to go, I should probably take this.
What year was this? 1721?
Could have been. But anyway, so yeah, he sees it, and I mean, it makes some sense that his policy would be formed from him. I can't believe she showed it to him.
Right.
I wonder if it
but
was
to see it, you would go, wow, that's like a person.
And
so that's why he became so pro-life.
Any formaldehyde or anything, or if it was just in the jar.
Well, I don't know that
like
she took it
with
back.
the last scrapings of Miracle Whip.
Yeah, it's like jerky.
I doubt if she had formaldehyde at the house.
Well, I know. If we were, when she took it to the hospital, didn't you say she took the fetus to the hospital in the jar?
Yeah, but I don't get the impression she. I don't think she brought it back home.
I don't think she poked holes in it so it could breathe later or something. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she left it at the hospital.
Oh no, I was under the impression that she showed it to him at the residence.
Yeah, and then she took it to the hospital.
Okay, I thought she was like years later, after the fact.
It's not like used car dealership where they have
on a shelf.
The conjoined pigs in the formaldehyde in the showroom.
She just had it laying around for a while.
That would have been great if he actually busted it out.
It seems crazy, but I'll bet there's somebody listening who has
a fetus
and formaldehyde in their home.
I'll bet
you're right.
Some weirdo.
Yep.
Joe, you don't think so? I'll bet they do.
I don't like to think so.
I'll bet at least
call your mom.
One person does.
Yep. And I'll bet you somebody thinks it's hot.
Yeah.
If we were one of those good, wacky zoo morning shows, we would have a spoof song ready to go to Metallica's Whiskey in the Jar, except fetus in the jar.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not our thing.
I wish we were better at that stuff.
I wish we were good at spoof songs.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Steve, get Tim Wilson on the phone and have him do something that sounds down home.
Homespun, and that's the key to getting affiliation.
Big numbers. We'll get a qualifier in the next 15 minutes for the trip for two to Daytona from Cat Footwear at catfootwear.com.
Here's what Hot Wings thinks.
That baby could be president one day.
What Hot Wings thinks.
Free beer Zane and listeners. I hate it when famous and super talented people try to garner sympathy by acting like they will somehow fall short of expectations doing something we already know that they're good at. In this case, I cannot believe how much is being made out of Gwyneth Paltrow singing live at tonight's Country Music Association Awards show, both by her and the media. She's in a movie that's coming out in December called Country Strong, in which she sings. Because of that, she's going to perform the title track from the movie at tonight's awards show. Entertainment Tonight, Extra, Access Hollywood, People Magazine, Us Weekly, all asking the same thing. How are Gwyneth's nerves? Oh, no! Well, how are they? Listen, everybody already knows she can sing. Jesus, she had a hit song, albeit a fairly terrible song called Cruisin', which was a duet with Huey Lewis from the movie Duets. But nevertheless, her singing sounded fine, and the song was a massive hit. Clearly, she was good enough to get the part for this movie, so I'm pretty sure that she can muster the strength to sound okay on a country music awards show. Besides, it's not like singing talent matters. Taylor Swift is about as popular as Jesus, and yet sings like a cold oboe, so what difference does it make? Country musicians absolutely revere Hank Williams, and that guy had a voice that reminds me of an old Chevette with a slipping belt. Surely she must sound better than that. Besides, who cares? The only reason anyone watches the CMAs live is to see Carrie Underwood's legs, or to see Kid Rock show up to perform a country rock crossover duet with Nashville's current flavor of the month. You know who else sucks? Alan Jackson. Has nothing to do with Gwyneth Paltrow. I was just thinking it.
Wanted to, yeah.
Anyway, I'm Hot Wings, and that's what I think.
That's your new opinion from Hot Wings. More of the Free Beer and Hot Wings show is next. Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
Slang terms for the male genitalia, okay?
Okay.
I'm guessing it's okay to say penis, because it's
the anatomical correct word.
Yes, for what that thing is.
For what?
Yeah. Tell me if these are acceptable. Sir Dangles?
Yes.
Manaconda?
Yes.
Bananimal?
Yes.
The one-legged pigeon?
Yes.
The super soaker?
Yes.
Why'd you deal with that one?
That's just funny.
Conan O'Brien, he debuted Monday night. His show beat Letterman and Leno in the ratings that first night. No surprise. Lots of hype attached to the return. The real test will be who wins like 3 weeks from now.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
But obviously he's formidable. Large following, kept them very active via Twitter when he was away. People seemed, at least amongst that age group that they're targeting, they like him better anyway.
Yeah, they kept that buzz awesome. They did a really good job.
Last week, or the week that they did the big rally in D.C., was the first time The Daily Show had ever beaten Leno or Letterman. I mean, until recently, it would have been unprecedented for a cable television show to beat network staple shows in the ratings. But that, so many people have cable and satellite now that it's pretty balanced out at this point. Later this hour, 10 obsolete technologies that for some reason people will not let die. You may be guilty of that yourself. If you go to freebeerandhotwings.com, there's a couple videos. One is in videos, one is in cool links. Steve Carell's audition tape for Anchorman is there. When that movie came out, Steve Carell was still just the guy who had been the news anchor in Bruce Almighty. And other than that, he was only a fake news reporter for The Daily Show. He was a small name, even though in Anchorman, I would argue he ended up stealing that movie with Brett Tamblyn.
It was his, for sure.
But this is actual video of him reading lines and doing the audition. It's just kind of a crazy thing to see.
I'm Brett Tamblyn. People seem to like me because I am polite and I am rarely late.
First part is a direct script that you already saw.
Cream, and I really enjoy a nice pair of slacks.
I realized as I was watching this, by the way, especially when it gets to the end and there's a scene that wasn't included in the movie that he's working on, and it sounds like Will Ferrell is there reading with him. It sounds like it. I guess I don't really know. Joe, did that sound like it to you?
I think it is.
You don't ever see anyone but Steve Carell, but it sounded like Will Ferrell doing Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
Could be.
In the background.
Makes sense.
And he just makes me laugh. He can do things that if somebody else did it, I would sit there and go, God, you're an idiot. I hate you.
Yeah, it's just his mannerisms, his facial expressions. But
in the end, he's pretending to eat like a sandwich that he's saying is covered with like cinnamon and bacon, but really it's like a taco he found in the trash with cigarette butts all over it. And he's miming it. He's sitting there wearing a jacket and tie, and it ends up still being funny. Also,
She
there's
smells like old tomatoes and dirt.
in Cool Links, if you go to it, there's a video which is 15 minutes long of what they say are the 50 greatest knockouts in boxing history.
Is that right?
And I watched the first few
Wow,
minutes.
50.
And I need to make time for the rest because it is just, man, you see so many good lights out slobber knockers of guys that I'm winning and then bam, flat on the ground. Old, new, obscure. All sorts of stuff you can see at freebeerandhotwings.com. Yesterday at the end of the show, who pulled this, Steve or Joe? I think Joe did. Joe, this cropped up by accident in the midst of another segment. Does it need any sort of setup?
No, not really. This is, I'll give it a little bit of a setup. We're coming right back from the break, and all you do is ask Steve what the name of the NASCAR qualifier is.
Perfect. And by the way, we'll get another qualifier coming up at the end of this segment. Steve, who's our latest qualifier for the trip for two to Daytona from Cat Footwear?
Figures his name has to be Tom Berry, B-E-R-R-Y, not Barry, B-A-R-R-Y.
Right.
And he's listening in Maroa, Illinois.
So Barry, not Barry.
So he spells it how, Steve?
B-E-R-R-Y.
So that is pronounced
Berry.
Barry.
Mm-hmm.
And if it
like
was,
Hot Wings' wife, Carrie.
And if it were B-A-R-R-Y, it'd be pronounced how?
Barry. Not like Hot Wings' wife, Carrie.
So the difference is Barry and Barry. That's the difference. That's because that's what you said.
This is about a 9-year-old debate.
Yeah, it's never going
between
away.
Hot Wings and Zane versus Steve and the people of New Jersey.
So we pronounced like my wife Carrie, not like my dad Barry.
Like your wife, Carrie, not like your wife, Barry, or your dad, Barry.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It's funny how you get mad at me. You're being just as stubborn as me.
Well, because you're making up a pronunciation. That's what you and
Here we go.
the inbred residents of New
save
Jersey
this list for tomorrow.
who believe this stupid thing that for some reason.
Right. No. Me and a whole state are wrong, but
yes, you are.
You're right.
So to frame this debate again, Hot Wings and Zane, is it fair to say your argument that you would pronounce the word B-E-R-R-Y and the word B-A-R-R-Y identically?
Would I? Yes. Barry.
And Steve,
Yes, I
you
would
say
too.
there is an obvious difference between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And that difference is illustrated by you saying B-E-R-R-Y this way.
Barry.
And B-A-R-R-Y this way.
Barry.
Okay. Now, hypothetically,
Mm-hmm.
let's say we've got a famous person.
Yes.
His first name is Barry, B-A-R-R-Y, and his last name is Barry, B-E-R-R-Y. How would you say his name, Barry?
His first name was spelled how?
B-A-R-R-Y.
Barry.
And his last name is Barry, like strawberry.
Yeah, say it together. Say it
Barry
together.
Berry.
So his name is Barry.
You just said it the same.
Barry. There
Berry. You tried to, but the first time you said Barry. You idiot.
It may sound similar, but they're not the same.
Mm-hmm.
I never said that they didn't sound similar.
When you try, then you do that. You throw in that filthy nut throat Jersey speak where you go, Barry.
Barry. Okay, say his name again.
Barry.
Can you hear a difference in what Steve is saying? 1-800-947-3979. I will say this. I can hear a difference when you try really hard. Like when you were allowed to say Barry. Like I just did. I think you could you hear a difference when I did it just now?
Yeah, because you went Barry. That's what you did.
Barry.
Steve, in Hot Wings and Zane's defense, when you were asked to say the names together, it sounded to me, impartial because I don't give a damn about this, that you said Barry.
Yeah. They sound similar, but they're not the same.
In that case.
Okay.
Exactly.
But Hot Wings, if I referred to your wife as Carrie,
God. Yeah.
Would that be wrong? Because by your logic, Kerry and Carrie are the same.
I would say Carrie Groceries the same as I would say my wife Carrie.
You would not say Kerry Groceries.
I think you would. Carry the groceries in. What would you do?
How would you?
Would you carry?
I would carry the groceries.
Carry.
Yeah, all you're doing is using your disgusting, filthy accent to ruin a word. That's all you're doing.
No, I'm pronouncing the letter that's in the word.
Carry is carrying
Steve,
the bags.
This question.
Carry is carrying the bags.
Carry.
Jason wants to know what you would say if someone dies and they're going to put the body in the ground. How would you pronounce that?
You bury them.
You don't bury them?
You sure you don't bury them?
Yeah. When you bury them? Bury wants to be buried with strawberries.
Underneath the berries, yeah.
Barry wants to be buried with strawberries.
So what do you do when when Barry dies? You bury, right?
Yes, you bury.
You bury
Barry.
You bury Barry.
Barry? No, you bury.
Steve, I always
Barry.
Howings always brings in Barry, which no one has ever said. And then Zane says, Barry. Barry.
There's only one way to emphasize you're filthy. You bury.
Steve, come in here
Barry,
to finish this debate so Stash can man the phones.
Yeah.
Because he's not getting any phone calls answered this way. He's just surfing the porno.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of porn.
All right. Again, no one's minding their own business. Stash's job is to be Abraham Lincoln at a play on this radio show.
Exactly. All right. You shut up.
Steve, welcome in.
Shut up and think about penis.
If you want to support Steve, 1-800-947-3979. Or if you want to support the other guys, you can. What happened to the other headphones? They were just in
I have no idea.
Didn't you have some in your bag?
Yeah, but I don't have an adapter for him. But I did flip mine out. He would have been able to hear fine, but yeah, that wasn't good enough. Or good enough.
I enjoy how maddening this is.
Well, yeah,
for Steve.
I also enjoy how we just fell into it. The guy who won the prize had the last name of Barry, and here we sit because that guy's last name is Barry.
Now, if this is like any time before, it's really going to be New Jersey against the rest of America.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad we have more Americans now to kick Jersey's ass for their disgusting speaking pattern.
But the dialect isn't that different from Jersey to Albany, so you would think Albany would be supportive of Steve's side. Steve, you agree?
I hope so.
Yeah. I know that, like in Philly, the word water in some parts of Philly is wooder. W-O-O-D-E-R.
Yeah.
I need a glass of wooder.
Yeah.
What?
Our friend Tony Henry would always say, would you take some water out?
Filthy.
Al joins us. Hi, Al.
Hey, how's it going, Kabubi?
Kabubi. How do you say B-A-R-R-Y?
It's Barry. I can hear Steve both ways, but I still think you should go back to the East Coast with the rest of his Goomba friends because he sounds like an a-hole.
Yeah.
Take it.
So what do you say about that?
I can't argue with that.
Sounds like an a-hole.
I have Goomba friends.
Sounds like an a-hole.
Goomba friends. Ben in Benton Harbor. Hi, Ben.
Hello.
What do you say, Ben?
I get the same kind of problem all the time with my last name because it's pronounced Burry, but I get Barry all the time.
How is it spelled?
B-U-R-R-Y.
Okay. Yeah, the second R, I can see where people would say Burry.
Burry.
Yeah.
No, I actually get them that call me Barry, though.
They do.
Okay, you actually tell them Barry. Yet another word spelled differently, but pronounced the same.
Yep.
As Barry and Barry and Barry and Barry and Barry and Barry.
Steve, would you like a supportive phone call?
Okay.
Sure. Bring it on.
Sean in New Jersey. Hi, Sean.
Yeah, hi, guys. This is Goomba Sean calling from the Hawk. If you remember a while back, a guy ran for president named John Kerry.
Yeah.
You would not carry the groceries. You would carry the groceries. I am in Steve's corner on that one.
I'm not going to lie, Sean. It sounded like you said the same words twice, just with a different context.
Let me try one more time. John Kerry and carry the groceries.
But would you really say it like that?
Yeah, you sounded retarded. See, this is what you did. John Kerry will carry the groceries. That's what you just said on the radio.
I think the problem lies in the fact that anyone who agrees with Steve decides to so overemphasize it to try and win the point.
To justify it.
Yeah. Okay. That you sound cartoonish.
Yeah. Well, one is an E and one is an A.
Well, yes, that is true. There is a difference.
They are not pronounced the same.
How about this then? If that's going to be your argument, how do you pronounce the word C-O-M-B?
C-O-M-B.
Yeah.
Kumba.
Whoa!
What the hell? Exactly right. That's right.
Thanks for calling in.
C-O-M-B is Kumba.
Kumbaya. I mean, isn't
Yes, exactly.
Right.
That's right. That's right.
Dick.
You Kumba your hair.
To defend me.
Hand me a Kumba.
Hey,
my hair's a miss.
Barry's hair needs to be combed.
Steve, would you like me to take any more phone calls from winners on your side? I didn't even get to the second part of my question, which was how do you pronounce the word T-O-M-B?
No.
I want to be buried with my zip fizz.
Based on that call, I surrender. You win.
I'm going to comb my hair before I'm buried with zip fizz.
Oh. You can use a Kumba or a Bruceha for your hair.
That's remarkable.
Dang it, if I was one of the blacks, I'd use a pike.
Steve, that was maddening, wasn't it? He was on your side, and I asked him how to spell comb, and he paused for what seemed like 4 minutes.
It's over.
Guys.
9 years just culminated with Sean's phone call.
Yep.
It's done.
The argument has been won. Thank you.
Steve gave up. That doesn't stop people from still trying to continue to prove prove to Steve that he's wrong or back him up. By the way, the people of Albany seem to really resent the fact that I said, they have a similar accent to you.
They hated that. They did not like that at all.
Yeah.
They were apparently very strong rivalry there.
Apparently, yeah, a little bit.
Up next, by the way, we're going to get to the story. This is a crazy story I saw on CBS News. You may have seen this on whatever newscast you watch about a guy that just seems like a psychopathic killer that happened to be in the Army, and he was using his appearance in the Army. The fact that wait till you hear what he was carrying around in a bag around his neck. Jeez. That's in the next segment.
You know how we're going to start this race, right? I want to hear boogity, boogity, boogity. Let's go racing, boys. You with me?
Everybody in the crowd on their feet. And they're scattering everywhere as they come to the line. It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. Side by side of the line. Coming to the checkers.
They're wrecking everywhere. There he goes.
Spank that monkey. You can't let him. You got to knock him off. And that's what I did on Sunday. I hope he doesn't stick with you.
My goodness, that dude is gay.
Caller 31, Cat Footwear wants to send you to Daytona for the big race in February. Tickets to the race. Infield in the RVs where you'll watch it. Airfare, hotel, you and a guest are going. If you get through in your caller 31, you're qualified. Then you got to win stock car math coming up on the 24th of November when we play. That person's going to join us in Daytona for the big race, but you got to get qualified first. And do so right now, caller 31. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Barry, 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 Carrie, 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 Mary, Terry, Larry, Ferry, Barry, Barry, Jerry, Frank, Barry, Barry, Barry.
Pretty clear.
That's a website. That's a pretty cool text-to-speech website where you type in a word and it says it. And I typed 3 different forms of Barry. And just to prove to you all once and for all that they're all pronounced the same way, and you can hear it. And then I threw in Carrie, your wife even got mixed into it and said that Steve is right, which is one of the first flaw I've ever found on your wife right there. Right, that.
Well, they're from the same area of the state, and so.
Hot Wings, who's right? You or your wife?
My wife. My wife
Barry,
is
Barry,
right.
Barry, Barry,
Hold
Barry,
on.
Barry, 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 Carrie, 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 Mary, Terry, Larry, Ferry, Barry, Barry, Jerry, Frank, Barry, Barry, Barry.
I
Now,
put in
Steve-
4 different versions of Carrie.
I had an
Steve,
issue with how he said Frank.
why don't you write down and transcribe that for us? Because you would obviously be able to spell all of them perfectly based on pronunciation, since that is a very expert pronunciation website. They would be getting it right. You can hear the difference, so please write it down with a transcription. Thank you.
No, like I said yesterday, I give up.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I'm
you
done.
did bail.
White
All right.
flag.
Hot Wings, make your wife do it.
There's one more thing.
She's alone now.
One more time. Let's check it out one more time. See if there's anything.
Barry, 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 Carrie, 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 Mary, Terry, Larry, Ferry, Barry, Barry, Jerry, Frank, Dick, Face, Steve, Barry, Barry, Barry.
Everything sounded the same in there.
This thing is awesome.
I heard nothing.
I love this toy. Oh, man. All right.
So there's a story. The Army's not happy about this. And this is one of those things where it looks terrible to the world, and there are some people that I think jump to the wrong conclusion, but I think that's a little bit unfair.
Where'd you get wind of this originally?
It's been floating around in the news for a while, and there's investigations going on now. I saw the story on CBS News this morning, and I couldn't believe what I was... It's one of those, and I think we all do this to a degree, where you see the headlines of stories and you go, oh man, that looks bad, but you never really dig into what the details are. And so then this story this morning shared the details, and I turned around. I normally have the TV on over my shoulder, but I can't hear it. Or I can't see it, I can only hear it. And I found myself half listening, and then all of a sudden I'm turned around looking at it going, oh my God. And it's this Army sergeant who they say had a kill team for the purpose of killing civilians in Afghanistan. This is shocking stuff.
In Afghanistan 3 days after he allegedly orchestrated the murder of an Afghan civilian. If the charges are true, he used those medical shears tucked into the top of his flak jacket to cut off fingers as trophies.
He's crazy. There's something wrong with that guy. And I've seen him kill, I know he's killed dudes.
Specialist Jeremy Morlock, who is accused of taking part in 3 murders earlier this year, made that statement to Army investigators as he described Gibbs's actions.
Pulled out one of his grenades, American grenade, popped it, throws the grenade, and then, tells me Winfield, all right, dude, whack this guy. Kill this guy.
Winfield is Specialist Adam Winfield, who admitted to being a member of Gibbs's kill team.
That's what we call it, kill team. What did he mean by that? He meant that he was going to kill people.
Winfield, too, is charged with murder.
It's pretty much the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Looking back, was there any way that shooting could have been justified at all? No.
Winfield claimed he was too afraid of Gibbs to blow the whistle.
What do you think he would do? I think he would kill me. And why do you think that? He said it. He said if anyone ever ratted on them, he would kill them.
Another soldier, Emmett Quintal, told investigators what happened when a private named Stoner blew the whistle on drug use in the squad.
Gibbs sat down casually and told Stoner that if he snitched again, he would kill him. And that he has killed people before and he has no problems killing again. At that time, Staff Sergeant Gibbs had a cloth. He opened it and dropped it, and 3 human body fingers fell on the ground.
And yes, there are pictures of soldiers posing with the bodies of their victims.
Oh, boy.
The Army is doing everything it can to keep those photos from becoming public. Katie?
Meanwhile, David, what kind of defense is Gibbs' legal team mounting?
Well, Gibbs's attorney says that these were all legitimate combat operations and that those statements by those soldiers are not going to stand up under cross-examination.
And David, let's talk about the other big story at the Pentagon, that mysterious site over the...
We'll get to that later.
That's for later.
Oh, man, wow. Yeah, who knows if they have more proof than just soldiers saying he did it.
No, that seems like, that much eyewitness testimony from people saying I was a part of it, and that's
right.
Strong.
Right, but
evidence.
What they're going to do is the lawyers for Gibbs are going to say, well, but you also did kill somebody. You could easily say you're saying that just
to cover your ass.
To make it seem like you cooperated, and you would get less of a punishment for what the hell you did. But boy, I don't know, man. This guy seems nuts.
Yeah. Well, and it's not that surprising. Currently, there are almost 1.5 million active members of the military.
To have one crazy
There's going to be a few criminals in there. It's just
for sure.
The nature of numbers. It's going to happen. And if you took a city and it had a population of 1.5 million people in it,
you'd have a murderer.
You think there wouldn't be any murderers in there? Of course, there's going to be a couple.
Psychopath.
You could live in the nicest city in America, but you're going to get a couple bad apples. And unfortunately, it puts a terrible black eye on the U.S. military. But I have no doubt that this guy is guilty, and I think the people around. Now, I've never been in the situation where I really believe someone is crazy enough to kill me, but you couldn't find somebody higher up to tell what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
There's no one. You had to stay silent and just go ahead and kill people with them. I don't know,
man. Somebody dumps a bunch of fingers on my chest and tells me to shut up.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been.
I don't know that I'm going to make rational decisions at that point.
Yeah, I've never been in that situation. But man, that guy sounds like a frickin' lunatic.
There are some people that blogs and stuff, and people that will use anything to be anti-war, which I think ultimately most people are anti-war, but you know what I'm talking about. That are painting with broad strokes and saying, "Oh, this is what happens when you train people to be killers."
Fingers and booger nails.
That is just stupid.
That's absolutely.
There are plenty of civilians that have killed people and been psychos, and no one would say that's why you need to have everybody in the military. You wouldn't use the opposite logic. But what a crazy story, man!
No kidding, man.
That is the stuff of movies, bad movies, like old Vietnam type movies.
Was it like a scene where there were just people like standing around their house and they would just go and just kill them? Just like descend upon them, or was there any type of?
I don't know.
Was it a real calm situation where nothing was going on? They would just open fire on people.
That's the same story that I had seen this morning.
Whoa.
So I don't know anything deep. I don't know if it was like some guy at a market who happened to be alone, and this Gibbs, who was leading the kill team, as they refer to it, said, "Hey, let's get that guy," or if it was within the context of a theater of operation where they said, "Oh, you know what? This is an opportunity. We can kill that guy, and it's going to look like it's part of the rest of this."
Yeah,
I don't know.
But what sucks is that to some parts of the rest of the world, that will be representative of the United States Army, and then we all know that's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah,
I wonder if the president even gets involved in this on a behind closed doors, not publicized way. When he hears about these stories, let's say he finds out in the news because nobody told him. If he gets on the phone immediately and says, "Okay, we need to talk about this," you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wonder if it trickles to that level.
Like how far it
trickles up or goes up.
Goes up, yeah. In the next segment, imagine if being arrested naked by the police was the second worst thing that happened to you in a given day. That's next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. One 1-800-947-3979. You can email idiots at freebeerandhotwigs.com. In about 20 minutes, the Free Beer and Hot Wings Report. Brett Michaels answers the hard question, and the government tries to explain what everybody thinks they saw over the coast of California. A lot of people think it was a missile.
Well, hell, it sure looked like a missile.
I think they think that because,
my God, that's why they think it was a missile, because it looked like a damn missile.
Yeah. I think in an hour my wife is going to come on with us to explain the unique brand of gibberish talk that I'm told caused me to roll over in a huff.
You got what?
Okay. I only have the slightest recollection of this.
Yeah.
I do remember thinking she was being a jerk and rolling over to go to sleep and then looking at the clock and realizing that based on the time, what I was saying was happening seemed completely impossible. Not to mention what she says that I said is impossible anyway.
Okay.
But we'll get to that. Also, we'll get to the final 7 things on the 8 things you should master by the age of 30, because we started that list yesterday.
Yeah.
And got through 1.
Yeah.
About 24 hours away from Dumber Than Zane Trivia, presented by Cat Footwear, a chance to win $5,600 tomorrow.
I want to know if there's anybody listening who has never listened before, who just started because of Dumber Than Zane?
I'll bet you there are.
I'm sure there have to be.
We can throw that out at any time.
Mm-hmm.
Who's listening for the very first time right now?
Mm-hmm. Especially if it's because you want to win the money.
Uh-huh.
Because that definitely happens. Because and we get evidence of that because later on during the day we'll get an email from someone who clearly hasn't listened very much, and that's okay. That's great. That says something like, "I heard something about some money. Please tell me how to win."
Right. Yeah.
So that's always very clear. I want to introduce you to this gentleman named Noah Smith. Noah Smith, kind of guy whose picture ends up on the Smoking Gun website. That's never a good thing. No one's ever been pleased by that working out. Noah's sort of a pie-faced loser who appeared to pull his hair back, and these are just, describing physically why he may have gotten to the point where he was on Saturday night.
Okay.
In South Carolina. A scuffle with the cops sent him to the emergency room. When police arrived at the scene, responding to a call about a break-in, Noah was lying down in the doorway nude. Noah, pie-faced man that we mentioned a minute ago, stood up and rushed the cops, slapped and kicked and tried to bite the officers.
While nude.
Mm-hmm. They used pepper spray, batons, and a taser to subdue him.
Oh, man.
I think that's
full on.
That's all good. If you've got a nude guy running at you, slapping and biting at you, anything you have to subdue him is good.
Mm-hmm. Of course, man. That points to some kind of crazy insanity that's going on.
Because of those things being used to subdue him, the standard operating procedure is to take him to the emergency room to make sure that he's not injured, or if he was injured in the incident, he is treated and going to be medically okay.
Mm-hmm.
And it was in the x-ray, or it was in the emergency room where they decided to give him x-rays to make sure that everything was okay.
Mm-hmm.
But x-rays are not standard procedure, unless it's obvious somebody has a break. They chose to do the x-rays because, as we mentioned, he was nude, and now at this point he's just in the hospital gown. When he was getting visually inspected by the emergency room physician, the physician noticed something hanging out from his bottom.
I knew it.
Uh-oh.
Plastic bag.
Nope.
Sock?
Nope.
A light bulb.
Nope.
Car keys?
No. It looked like he had a mouse tail. Because it was a mouse tail hanging out of his rectum.
Oh, boy.
When asked how a mouse got in there, his answer was, I don't know, it just happened. Which I guess is as good as any response you could possibly give.
It's in your butt.
Squeak.
Officers speaking to individuals outside the residence who had initially called the police suggested that this man, Noah Smith of South Carolina,
oh, you mean anal?
was likely under the influence of mushrooms.
No way.
I don't know that mushrooms automatically lead someone to jam a small, furry rodent in their keister, but maybe that's the explanation for how it got up there. Man, emergency room docs and nurses. I mean, what is it? I mean, every day you could probably come home and go, well, you won't believe what I saw.
Oh, they see incredible things. Amazing things.
Stupid HIPAA laws keep them from narking everyone out normally.
So I'm just assuming it was deceased. Did not say that.
It actually doesn't say in the news story.
Yeah, I don't know how long a mouse can go inside a buttocks.
Well, he must have had a loose anus to begin with, because that seems very difficult to jam a mouse up there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, maybe he used an implement first and then slid that implement over the top,
like a pair of salad spoons,
a tube of some sort, something. Yes,
that's probably what it was.
Yeah, probably.
This is Ben in Nashville. Ben, you're a new listener because of Dumber Than Zane trivia. Is that true?
Yeah, I work on I'm an EMT. I work on an ambulance, and my got a new partner about a month ago, and he listened to y'all, and I only paid attention to Dumber Than Zane. Now I listen to y'all every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, pretty much the entire show.
So you're an example of someone you may have heard us say in the last month that it takes a little while to get used to the show, and then a lot of times we can win people over. You're an example of that.
Yeah, y'all
Okay.
I came in for Summer and Zane. I stayed for the love I feel every morning.
Now, Ben, when you started it, you had, I mean, seriously, you had to have thought, this is a terrible show.
I don't think I did, actually.
You didn't? Okay. Well, that's
actually was, it's serious at times, it's funny at times, it's just a pretty good show.
Well, we appreciate that. I like that.
Wow, hell, man, I didn't
That's a good
expect that at all.
encapsulation. Thank you, Ben.
Because normally it's like, boy, I hated you guys at first.
Yeah. And maybe we think that because that's what I think I would do if I tuned into us the first time. I'd be like,
terrible.
Arrogant jerks with made-up stupid frat guy names. I hate these guys.
I don't know what's going on.
I'm embarrassed that I laughed at that. And then all of a sudden, I'd be on board.
I had a guy I was talking to at swim school yesterday, Hot Wings, a friend of mine, who we got on this exact topic, and he said that there was a What Hot Wings things, and he didn't say what specifically, but he said something made him so mad that you had done on What Hot Wings things.
Mad at me or the subject?
Mad at you.
Mad at me, okay.
He was so pissed beyond belief. This is before he had any impression of us whatsoever. The first impression was this burning hatred based on some, whatever it was, some diatribe you had done, some rant.
Yeah.
Did it piss him off?
That'd be a fun phone topic. I like the show, but I'm mad at blank, as in you have to be mad at Hot Wings, Zane, me, Joe, Steve.
Or maybe that was your first emotion that was pulled out of you. Hatred. I mean, because we can bring embarrassment and joy, we think, with cracks and jokes and making fun. But when the first impression is disgust.
Fury. Yeah.
Just mad.
And you can overcome that. You can overcome anything.
We've all had that moment where you're watching or listening to something and you actually find yourself, you're growing furious. You want to punch the car seat next to you.
I can't say that I have.
No?
No, not from anything I've really listened to. I don't think.
Yeah, I've become very irritated, but
I don't have too much access to shows that do that to me.
Yeah, that actually make me mad.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been mad.
I think if I listened to
irritated a few times.
Beck or Limbaugh, I would do that, but I don't listen, so.
Dr. Laura did that to me.
Did she?
Back in the day.
Okay.
But then I started listening because I liked to be mad at things. Not like real mad, but that kind of
no, that's not
vicariously mad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's not a bad thing.
In the Free Bear and Hot Wings report up next, Brett Michaels answers the hard question. And what was that flying over California that has some people terrified? That's next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Bear and Hot Wings show.
Barry, 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 Carrie, 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 Mary, Terry, Larry, Ferry, Barry, Barry, Jerry, Frank, Dick, Face, Steve, Barry, 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 Bob, and Tom should not be heard on 200 stations because they love anal Lex and Terry, 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 suck DDD.
That's what happens when Zane finds the new Tech Speak program.
God, is this thing fun?
Do you know what? You've been wanting to make a bit for years, but we've never really been able to do away because of the time and everything, is that service for deaf people where you type something. I think that's what it is.
I know exactly what it is. And exactly what you're talking about, and I have to know exactly what you're going to say. Because
this is a perfect VIP video because they could watch you and Joe do your magic and have a great time doing this. That needs to happen today.
What do you call it again? The service is through a mobile phone technology. I don't even want to say because I don't want to ruin it.
It's it's a well-deserved great technology to help people that are hard of hearing. And it's perfect for pranks and being absolutely obnoxious because you type anything you want and the lady will read it as serious as a heart attack to the person on the other end of the phone.
Yeah, I know. It's still available, this service. So I would take my phone and you just type in the phone you want to call on the service, and you're talking to a thank you. Anyway, it will make a great VIP video.
We'll work on that today.
Yeah.
1-800-947-3979. The Free Beer and Hot Wings report in a moment. Brett Michaels, a very prepared answer to a question he knew was coming, no doubt, and no surprises, but you still need to hear it. We'll get to that in a second. But Jess writes, I'm a new listener. She says, okay, guys, I'll admit that I'm a new listener, but it's not because of Dumber Than Zane, though I will say that I love listening to some of the dumbass people that are able to get through.
Hey.
She writes, I remember quite vividly yelling at my husband to change the damn channel. These guys are so stupid, rude, mean, they make fun of everyone.
Come on now.
I was willing to bet that you guys were a-holes and never cared about anyone or anything outside of your own little stupid radio world.
Mm-hmm.
Then I started a new job where, unfortunately for me, they listen to you guys every morning. Every morning!
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ugh. Needless to say, I was not thrilled, but after about a week of trying to tune you out, I gave in and started listening, and I realized that you're hilarious. Well, now I like her. I love it. I now listen to you guys all the time, even when I'm not at work. You do make fun of people, but it seems like they almost always deserve it.
It's true.
That's right.
You are sometimes serious, emotional,
Especially
and make valid
children.
points.
Especially the children that we rip on.
Yeah.
There are some
They
that
always
certainly
do.
have not deserved it. Those are the ones that make me feel bad later and 1 second afterwards.
Yeah.
And I say to myself, we're never going to do that again.
Yeah.
Until later, something makes me laugh, and I don't want it to laugh, but it's still funny. Bret Michaels, lead singer of Poison. What a crazy last couple of years this guy's had. He's gone from being washed-up rock star that was kind of a punchline to being on Dancing with the Stars and becoming sort of a household name to a completely different audience. Then he nearly died. I mean, he was close to death. People thought that, I mean, I'll bet you every network had a Bret Michaels obituary done with highlights and everything else.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's fine. He almost was a judge on American Idol, and now he's linked to the divorce between Billy Ray Cyrus and Tish Cyrus, the mother and father of Miley Cyrus. It's been rumored that he had an affair with Tish, and that's at the heart of the divorce. Now she has denied it.
Okay.
And now not Billy Ray, but Bret Michaels is asked on Fox and Friends.
The question is, did I or didn't I? The answer is no. But here's the thing. I've been friends with their family forever. You know, it started out with me and Miley simply working on a song together. Her mom, Tish, likes Every Rose Has Its Thorn. The first concert Miley ever saw was Poison, and so they wanted to remake it for the new record. And then they started out with me and Miley. While I was in the studio, Miley came in and sang on my song, a song I wrote for my album Custom Built, and she came over and sang on that. And honestly, she did a beautiful job. Right. And then that was it, you know, and they started with all that controversy.
I believe him. Otherwise, he wouldn't, he wouldn't be making himself public if he was really in the center of this controversy. I don't think he had anything to do with it.
I don't believe him.
You don't believe him?
I don't.
Really?
No. I don't think so. I don't know why, because there's not any evidence or anything. I mean, it's really more convenient that he's been friends with the family all this time. But I don't know. I don't know what sort of denial I'd have had to hear for me to believe him, but that one did not resonate. That seemed like all right, well, if they ask you this and you know they're going to, this is how you answer it kind of answer.
Yeah, I mean, what's he going to say? Yeah, right. Totally.
Yeah, I banged her.
I mean, I guess he could, the old rock star, and I'm sure if he did 20 years ago, he probably would have said, yeah, so not my problem. But if she is an aging, notable former groupie of his rock band, took the daughter to it. And, you know, I mean, she is a girl who has sex. There's no doubt, because she's got tattoos written all up the side. I saw
talking about Tish
Cyrus. I saw her in a picture. Yeah, she's got tattoos on her stomach. And so I go, oh.
She definitely fits his profile.
That's a rock chick. Yeah, busty blonde.
I cannot get over the size of Tish Cyrus's eyes. I'd never even seen this
like
woman.
Saucers.
They are stupid big. They don't even look real. It looks like there's a slight Photoshop in every picture to make them a centimeter bigger each way.
Yeah.
Which, when looking at it in the scope of eyes, that's like they could be 5 feet wide. They seem enormous.
Yeah, they are huge.
Man.
Our second story in the Free Beer and Hot Wings report today. What exactly was that flying over the West Coast?
Okay, now there's several clips. As the story unfolded, it went to no explanation mystery to speculation possible, and then, oh no, this is what it was. So let's start with the beginning, when this all started to break.
And it's spectacular. It takes people's breath away.
Who launched this missile and why remain a mystery for now.
It is a big missile.
These magnificent images were captured from the KCBS News helicopter in Los Angeles around sunset. The location of the missile, west of L.A., north of Catalina Island, and approximately 35 miles out to sea.
You're looking at the L.A. harbor.
A Navy spokesperson tells News 8 this wasn't their missile. He says there was no Navy activity reported in that part of the region.
And we have liftoff.
On Friday night, Vandenberg Air Force Base launched this Delta II rocket, carrying the Thales Alenia Space Italia Cosmos SkyMed satellite. But a sergeant at the base tells News 8 there have been no launches since then.
That's a pretty big contrail.
We showed the video to Robert Ellsworth, former U.S. ambassador to NATO and a former Deputy Secretary of Defense.
It's not a Tomahawk.
He said we should wait for definitive answers to come from the military. But when we asked him what he thought it could be,
well, I'm just speculating.
Ellsworth said maybe, just maybe, with President Obama in Asia, this could have been a show of our military muscle.
It could be a test firing of an intercontinental ballistic missile from a submarine.
I couldn't sound more old.
Yeah.
Underwater submarine.
What I'm saying seems to make no sense to anyone.
When I worked for NATO, we didn't have rockets.
To demonstrate, mainly to Asia,
do an impersonation of Dan Rather,
that we can do that.
I wonder.
Based on the newest technology when I was there, that could be some sort of hot air balloon put up to see where Confederate troops are bunching.
That reminds me of when I was working for NATO. We had the sighting of a rogue landmine, the hot new technology at the time. Jeez.
When I was... I once told the Archduke Franz Ferdinand that if he was going to be in the League of Nations, good God.
Back when we were invading Prussia.
That guy's so old he sounded like Hot Wings talking about
video games.
Video games.
Well,
no kidding.
This story has started to unfold, and more people have talked about it, so the speculation continues.
More than a day later, U.S. military officials admit they don't know exactly what it was that lit up the skies near Los Angeles last night, but they say they're convinced it was not a missile. The Navy and Air Force strongly deny they had fired a missile. And using satellite imagery, Northcom and NORAD found no evidence of a missile launch. Military officials also point out the object is moving too slowly and changes course like an airplane, not a missile.
By the way, as the speculation continues, I know there is one man, at least one man, within the sound of our voice, whose ears are perked. His pencil is writing. The communication is taking place to other nerds that he communicates with on a regular basis. His name is Bishop, and he's hungry. Not for info, he's just hungry.
Bishop, missile investigator.
I think in this case there's probably a lot of people who would say, all right, well the military is not going to be forthcoming with this and say, oh no, this was us. That's not how it works.
Steve, I think you put it well when you wrote no evidence of a missile launch. What about the video of a missile being launched?
Right. Not to mention the old casual aside of it's not a missile. What is it? Oh. Well, then you can't say what it's not if you don't know what it is.
Well, at the end of that, they said something about not a missile, and then, hold on a second, we played the last.
The object is moving too slowly and changes course like an airplane, not a missile.
That is not an airplane. There's no way that was an airplanes don't go straight up in the air.
Doesn't seem like it.
CBS Evening News, Katie Couric talked a little bit about this.
Let's talk about the other big story at the Pentagon, that mysterious sight over the Pacific Ocean captured by a KCBS helicopter last night. Was it a missile, and what are officials there at the Pentagon saying about it?
Well, experts have spent the entire day trying to figure out what it was. The Department of Defense spends billions of dollars each year to make sure it's never surprised by a missile launch, so this had everybody's attention. They have determined that it did not travel fast enough or have a big enough exhaust plume to be a military missile fired either by the U.S. or some other country.
It looks pretty
big to me. They now believe it was either an airplane or an amateur rocket.
What? All right, well, keep us posted on that. David Martin, David.
The plume on that is bigger than any airplane that we've ever seen.
No, that was not.
The vapor trail you'd normally see.
And maybe perspective plays a role. I don't know. There's not much to pin it against. I mean, but Still, man, I don't know. It certainly doesn't look like an airplane to me.
Pretty sweet amateur rocket if that's something you build at home. Nice job.
Yeah, that's a hell of a rocket if that's what it was.
A final note in the Free Beer and Hot Wings report. I just read there is speculation that former National Hockey League player Brendan Shanahan, who now works with the league office or with the NHLPA. Remember when the NHL, their All-Star game was North America versus the world?
Yeah.
And all of the professional sports leagues try to do things to get people interested in their All-Star game because over the years, because of all the TV and everything, it's become less of an event and more of a, geez, do we have to do this? The NHL has something that I'm intrigued by, if this is what happens. The captains from the two conferences, one captain from each, the East and the West, will take the entire pool of players in a televised event, pick teams for the game.
Oh my God.
And they can pick from either of the all-stars that are selected. They can pick, so there's no East versus West. So if Crosby was a captain and whoever else, Malkin was the other captain or whatever, that wouldn't be it. But they could pick a guy from one league and then the next league and everything else, which means the only reason to do this is see the loser who's the last pick.
Oh, what a bummer that would be.
Because, hey, congratulations, you're an all-star. The least deserving all-star that none of the other all-stars want to be on your team.
Yeah,
that's kind of good drama.
I mean,
Is that for sure? That's being talked about.
It's being talked about, but it's in this article from Sports Illustrated. They made it seem like it's the likely outcome for the All-Star game that would be implemented for the 2011 All-Star game, which I think is in Raleigh. That'd be pretty cool.
Well, I like that. I like the idea of that.
Because if you're in the NHL, you're always a pretty good athlete, which means you weren't picked last in gym class like some of the rest of us. Mm-hmm. This will be a new experience for somebody.
Remember when hockey used to be cool, like when there was fighting?
Those were the days.
Yeah. That was all right.
Those were the days. Up next, 10 obsolete technologies that people will not let die. If you use any of these for anything more than being ironic or the momentary feeling of nostalgia, there may be something wrong with you. That's next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
I am incredibly disturbed and saddened by the overwhelming number of teen suicides that have been reported lately because of bullying. The concept that we are torturing teenagers because they're gay, it's like lynching black people or, Hitler exterminating Jews. I mean, sorry if I sound like I'm going on a rampage right now, but this is America. We're, the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Wow, that's Madonna there. Meanwhile, goth kids are like, how come no one ever helped us when we got picked on all those years?
Yeah, that's true. Bullying is just rough in general. There was just a story I read this morning that made me feel terrible. Do you want to hear about this? Probably not. You want to hear it? It was a real bummer. I don't even remember where, but a 14-year-old girl had alleged that she had been raped as a freshman by the popular varsity football player, popular senior.
Sure, yeah.
And then after the allegation came out, taunted, isolated, ignored, and then killed herself. That is not cool.
Man.
Stuff like that. I mean, but that has nothing to do with gay, straight, or anything else, man. It's just how brutal it can be. There is something to that. Like when we were kids, if you were the one getting taunted, you went home and you were safe from it unless you got prank called or something stupid like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now with all the social media technology, how do you get away?
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, you can't.
10 obsolete technologies people won't let die. Number 10 on this list, you can see this in cool links at freebeerandhotwings.com. Number 10 on this list, I can honestly say, I think this has been dead for decades. Telegrams. Have you ever known anyone to send or receive a telegram?
No.
If someone said, I can only get, honestly, if someone says, fax me something right now, I don't like them. Why can't I send it as a scan? I don't want to fax anything. But telegram, I wouldn't have any idea how to do one.
I wouldn't know where to go. in order to send a
Western
telegram.
Union? Is that what you do?
The main telegram companies like Western Union stopped offering the service years ago, according to this. Several smaller companies still do, regardless of how antiquated the service may seem.
Yes, I love technology, but not as much as you see. But I still love technology, always and forever. Our love is like a flock of doves, flying up to heaven above.
Someone needs to call us if you've sent or received a telegram. Really, any time in your life. Do you think there's any time in our lives where telegrams have been a part of someone's day?
I can't see a need for it. I don't know. I can't believe.
What is the benefit? Was it the idea that it was faster than the mail? They would deliver the telegram.
I don't even know. I can only see the benefit. Yes, back in the 1800s.
Should be happening. Calm down.
Back in the 1800s when, yes, these would have been faster than horses.
Like sending a letter across the country would take a week or two.
But after that, I mean, once there was pretty regular telephone service, I fail to see why you would send a telegraph. Well, it's pretty much the same.
Nowadays, apparently, it's the economical way to go. There's a company called American Telegram, and for just $28.95 plus 89 cents per word, you can have a hand-delivered telegram delivered.
89 cents a word.
Wow. Plus $28.95.
It's actually cheaper to buy a computer and sign up for an email account than to send one telegram.
I sent you this message. Stop. I'm an idiot with money. Stop. Don't be friends with me. Stop.
This list of 10 obsolete technologies people won't let die. Maybe there are a few of these people. I'm just not seeing them. Number 9, laser disc players. Not DVD players that are being outdated by Blu-ray players. Not VCRs being outdated by DVD players. But 1985's number 1 technology, laser discs.
Boy, yeah, to me, this never even really took off. It would have been a handful of people that were hanging on to a technology like this. Like when everybody else had a VHS, there was always that one guy who demanded and insisted that, well, I have a beta.
Those are those big
because
ones?
They're better. Those betas are better. Well,
Right.
That might be, but nobody else has them.
Yeah, congratulations. Okay. You have something everyone else doesn't want.
And that's the same with Laserdisc, you know. Everybody had VHS and Laserdisc. Yeah, you can scroll, but they're gargantuan. They're the size of a record album. Oh, wait, what are these? Oh, these are DVDs. Oh, they're like that, but a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
F off.
Mm-hmm. Back to telegrams. Burke in Nashville, you have received a telegram.
Yeah.
What was the occasion?
I was asked to be a groomsman.
A groomsman?
A groomsman in a wedding for my best friend's wedding.
By who? Doc, back in time?
Yeah.
Was it like from somebody who was overseas, as like serving America or something? Or why did they send a telegram?
Yeah, I think it is more of just sort of a novelty thing. He lives in California, and just like a clever way to ask us. Yeah. Didn't have any heads up or anything. Didn't really even know he was engaged.
Hopefully you said no.
I bet it was a singing telegram, and there's just confusion here.
I can't believe a guy that would bother to send a telegram out of novelty for a groomsman was actually getting married to a lady.
That's hard to believe. Frank, you've also received a telegram?
Yes, I did. I received a telegram after I had left the military. They had notified me that I had a relative that passed away overseas. And that's how they sent it to me.
And they went to, so the government is the one propping up telegram. That makes sense.
That figures.
What year of what year did this take place?
That was in 92.
Oh, no, hopefully they've gotten away from it. But even in 92, that was well outdated technology. If you've got a laser disc at home, you need to throw it through your front window right now.
That's amazing, man. I don't know anybody who actually had a laser disc.
Number 8 on this list, I haven't seen since before I moved to college, rotary phones. It says a lot of people are hanging on to the old technology because they feel it is a superior product. No one has. The grandparents don't even have rotary phones now.
Wow. I mean, you know, I haven't done a comparison with sound on a plug-in rotary phone versus a modern phone, but I can't imagine that the audio fidelity is so much more awesome.
God, do they look weird now, just to think.
They do, and I'll bet it would be weird as hell to actually dial now. I mean, when we were kids, that was
forever.
pretty common. I mean, people had rotary phones, and you dial the thing, and
You just have to wait for the zero to slow.
I know,
it's
the
gotta come-
GD0 takes like an hour.
come back.
And you would keep your finger in it and try to force it back the other way.
Yep.
And it would go.
Feel it drag. 7 on the list, CB radios. I mean, even at their zenith, it seemed like only truckers had them.
Yeah.
Truckers and dorks.
Well, we have talked about this on the air several times, and last time we got as far, it was just a month ago. Joe and I went to eBay to price them because all we want to do is do VIP videos where we get on this stupid CB and tell truckers off and say rude things to truckers just to get a response. Because, but we stopped. We went no further than eBay. Joe, when are we going to actually take that a step further, do you think? What is your prediction? Never? It has to be never.
Were they expensive?
It's probably never.
I don't, we had
there was a sweet one with flames on it for like $50.
Well, you would need a CB with flames on it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it would be stupid.
That shows fast motion.
You do that,
and
but there's an antenna. You need an antenna.
Yeah, and then I think it was like $30 for the cheapest one I found.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the antenna has to be outside of the building, though. We'd have to have Sean run it up to the roof.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Probably, yeah. Well, it would help. That's for sure.
Off of top of a building, we've got a CB antenna.
This is Dan. Dan, you worked for a telegram company?
Yes, I did. I worked for American Telegram back in the early 90s.
You did?
Yes.
Did they lay you off because they realized no one wanted to send telegrams?
No, I left L.A. I lived out in L.A. for about a year, and and then I just ended up leaving the job to come back to Albany.
What were most people using telegrams for?
Well, a lot was for invitations. A lot when we worked at matter of fact Beverly Hills, and we got a lot of telegrams for people who wanted to send for parties and stuff out in that area. But also a lot of bereavement. A lot of calls came in for bereavements regarding to send for people who were passed away, and they would send them to the to families all over the country.
Wow.
I guess that makes sense.
Boy, that's crazy. So even though it's basically the same, it seems nicer to send it by telegram than email or mail. Or
yeah, but I'll tell you, people don't realize what the price was, though. It was outrageous. And how they're delivered, people don't understand. They are hand-delivered, but mostly they're hand-delivered by the post office. Okay. Because what they do is we would type the telegrams out, and it would go to the post office and the zip code, again, that 4-digit that comes at the end of the zip code, and it would be put in an envelope and delivered in the next day's mail or the day after. So basically people were paying $30, $40, $50 to basically have the postman deliver a letter within a day or two. So it was pretty much a racket.
They could have sent for the same price FedEx, or for like a quarter of the price with FedEx or UPS.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the average telegram went for like $40, $50, and I'm going back to 1991, 92.
That's amazing. Who would do that?
Dumb business. Thank you,
What
Tim.
idiots.
So CB radios, number 6 on their list, CRT TVs, which would be cathode ray tube TVs, the non-flat screen.
I can't imagine buying a new one, but man, I still got plenty of old ones plugged in.
Yeah, those too.
I mean, when they die, I'll buy flat, but...
Yeah, there's no reason to just throw them out. They still work. But yeah, buying a new one's a bad choice at this point.
It's good in the garage.
Boom boxes. It's hard to find a boom box these days. Like if you have a boom box that you love and it died and you wanted to find another one similar, good luck.
See, that one I disagree with a little bit, because again, something like that comes in really handy in the garage. You just carry it out there, plug it in. If you want to listen to a ball game or something, there it is. And if it gets kind of messed up, it gets crap on it, you don't care. You wouldn't take a nice piece of stereo equipment out into your garage. And if you've just got like a regular iPod that doesn't get FM signals or something, you can't use that if you want to listen to the radio.
You got to get those kind that, if you're a contractor, though, that you can, drop off the Empire State Building and it still will be fine.
Yeah, where it looks like a...
DeWalt.
Yeah, those bitchin' DeWalt ones, that are covered in rubber and everything. You can beat them.
Pretty sweet. 4 typewriters. Haven't seen one of those since my high school typing class.
Yep, used one in college and it was about it.
Yeah.
3 Polaroid cameras. I thought they stopped making those.
I think they did finally stop making the film for them.
And then 8 tracks, vinyl, and cassettes. I know people say that vinyl is a better fidelity, but there's no reason for 8 tracks and cassettes to still be in use.
I don't understand the thing that, vinyl sounds better than anything else. That doesn't make any sense to me because it gets all scratchy.
Yeah.
CDs don't.
It's got a fuller sound to it.
Yeah,
I've heard people
never been able to hear it.
Sound.
I've never been able to actually go, but clearly vinyl.
But you have to be really into it for it to matter.
I kind of feel
if you're just an average music fan, you don't care. I
kind of feel like that's just music snobs or vinyl snobs saying they can hear it because you're supposed to. I think it's sort of like that intelligence test that we faked where we said we were playing a sound that if you can hear it, you're a super genius, but we weren't playing a sound, but all those geniuses said, well, I can hear it. I kind of feel like that's how vinyl is. You're just living it's your way of saying, I'm better than you because I can hear it, even if you're not saying that.
No.
Like they use words like fuller and warmer. Those don't mean anything.
No, there is definitely a better sound to analog actual recordings than digital. Because once you digitize it, it compresses everything. So it's just a flatter sound. It just is.
You're telling me you can hear the difference? Or because I know that technically speaking, Hot Wings, what you're saying is true. I know that they do flatten the sound, but are you saying you can hear the difference between vinyl and a digital recording?
Barely. And in some cases, no. I would say no.
That means you've tested it. You've actually said, hey, Kerry, I'm a little bored. What do you say we bust out the vinyl and the CD and do a taste test comparison? You would have had to have done that.
I would not. No, I would not.
And how can you say that the last statement is accurate, that you can tell the difference? Because unless you've done a test, there's no way to say what you just said.
The only time that I've done that I've actually done a comparative, I've never gone out of my way like, I'm going to buy this CD and I'm going to buy this CD or this vinyl. But I played a lot of jazz records when I was in college because I worked for NPR.
Yeah.
And I liked some of them, but I'm not going to go out and buy them on vinyl because I couldn't play vinyl in the car. So I bought them on CD, and they sound fine, but there's just it does lack I don't know. It's hard to explain it. It just sounds a little bit different. There's a fuller, cooler sound to vinyl to me.
I know it by that.
I think you're living a lie. I think you got suckered.
Fantasy sound test that he did. That he didn't do.
Because you listened to them in different places. One was in a studio made for, it probably had sound deadening on the wall, and you maybe listened in headphones, and the other one you're throwing in the CD player in your truck.
I know this.
True.
It may be true what he's saying, but I know that he's full of crap because he said, after he said, there is a difference. Have you ever done a test? No. You can't say that. It's impossible unless you went into, like he said, a controlled area or where you were listening to both sources in the same, the record and the digital recording in headphones or in your car, as long as it was the same place for the same recordings. There's no way you could make that statement unless you took a test, but you didn't. You said so matter-of-factly, it's the way it is.
For HD TV, you could go, here's ESPN in HD. Hit the last button. Here's ESPN in non-HD. Clear difference on the same TV, and I'm standing in the same spot. Yours was, once I heard Marlon Wayans doing a comedy CD here, and then I also saw him do stand-up, and there were two different things. One seemed like I could see him, and the other one wasn't live.
Howings, you need to do a test, man. You need to redeem yourself. Go into your listening lounge at your grotto and on your hi-fi with a needle, bust out some jazz CDs and then listen to them digitally. I know you got copies of both.
I do in some cases.
Okay. All right.
I do.
I don't think you're going to do that test.
Perfect illustration of the music snobbery that I was talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course you can tell the difference. Really?
Mm-hmm. There's something nice about vinyl.
No. The novelty is what's nice. You know what's not nice? The fact that it sounds like crap because all the scratches in it.
A little bit of gibberish talk from me. I apparently gave my wife a lecture. She'll join us next to explain it.
Yep. For Hot Wings, I'm explaining hi-fi.
It's the Free Bear and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
One last note on the vinyl versus CD or digital. David writes, you can tell the difference if it is listened to on a ridiculously high-end stereo setup. Says he knows an audiophile, as he refers to himself, that says carpet fibers laying in the wrong direction can change the sound of the room enough to be able to hear the difference.
Oh, my God. I got to go home and vacuum.
And maybe that's what you noticed in your listening lounge.
Probably.
In your big last test comparison.
I'm guessing. There was a blanket over the chair.
Eye roll, groan, dork, eye roll.
That didn't work out for you.
No.
1-800-947-3979.
Ah, Brad Dell.
I'm gonna take you by surprise and make you realize that
tell this is digital. There's no bass to this.
I'm gonna tell you right away. I can't wait another day.
From their third album in 30 years.
My nervous wife Amanda joins us right now. Hi, Amanda.
Hello. Thank you for the song.
You have your own intro music. That's pretty sweet.
I have not heard that in many, many years.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. Did you rock out to it years ago?
Oh, I had some really scary memories, actually.
Sweet. So we thought we'd have you on because I have described some of the gibberish talk that I've busted out on you from time to time. But I only have a vague, gray, foggy recollection of this. And I referenced to you when I was leaving for work I said, did this happen? And you said, oh, yeah, and laughed in my face.
So sound asleep, you start to talk.
Yeah. Yes. And Amanda, does it typically happen? It almost always happens when you're coming to bed, right?
Yeah, at least now. I think when we first started dating, there was a couple of times where you woke me up. You remember from me probably telling you the next morning. But, yeah, lately it's usually I go to bed, and you'll typically say something when I go right to bed.
Now, the first incident ever of gibberish talk to Amanda was when we had first started dating. I was still doing sports play-by-play, and I had just gotten back from doing a college basketball broadcast.
Yeah.
And I sort of remember this, but you've confirmed it, Amanda. I shook you awake, and when you went, what? I said, you're my favorite offensive rebounder.
Yeah.
That's very romantic.
Yeah, that's nice. See what he dreams of.
Yeah.
Okay.
What an idiot I am.
And then there was another one where I believe you were interviewing me, and I was a swim coach.
Swim coach.
Swim coach.
This is all new to me.
That was back in the day when I could keep you talking.
Oh.
You could have the conversations, and it was a little bit more fun back then.
That's sweet.
Because now it always ends the same way, doesn't it?
Yeah, you get really mad at me. It's my fault that he's talking gibberish.
Has he ever sleep groped you?
Not that
Not that you know.
He does like to spoon when I come to bed. But
okay.
That's
All right.
Very romantic.
He does that here, too.
Yeah.
He does it with us.
Yeah. Spooning now.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
Steve, can you come in here?
As he holds us, let's talk about the latest thing, right, Freebeer?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, the latest thing wasn't quite as much fun because I was actually half asleep as well. I had gone to bed and was in there for a while, and then I had rolled over, and Greg said, thank you. And
thank you.
I didn't really know why, so I asked why, and it's funny because he does not slur. He sounds crisp as a bell, but it's hard for me to repeat what he says because it doesn't make any sense.
He sounds crisp as a bell. It's very unlike what he sounds like here 99% of the time.
It's just the opposite of my waking broadcast.
Yeah. All the letters in his words are all in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like his words, they don't necessarily relate to each other properly, so it's hard for me to even remember what he says to me. But he said something about, well, thank you for covering my pedestal, which I don't really know what that means. And then he's talked some gibberish, and he said something about, while it may be real or it might be imagination, God only knows. And so I just kind of sat there for a minute, and I said, well, no. God doesn't only know. I know. It was imaginary.
Yeah, that's trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You're going to annoy him.
But this is again where I'm trying to, I'd love to have this conversation with him, but he's not going to play that game anymore. So he
because there was a time where I would have played along and I would have tried to explain it, but now, as soon as you contradict me, I get irritated. And
yeah. You used to argue with me.
Yeah.
Okay.
You used to stand your ground, at least for a little bit. But now it's just, and now even he'll catch me trying to talk to him about it, and he'll basically be like, well, gosh, you're so cruel. How can you do that to me?
So he
when
would...
you know that I'm talking gibberish, how can,
And all while he's asleep. This is all while he's sleeping.
I guess. I don't know if he ever remembers, how much he always remembers.
The only thing I remember of this is rolling over, being mad at you, not knowing why, waving my hand in front of the clock so the clock would come on and I could see what time it was. And when I saw that it was 11:46, I realized that whatever I was saying was 100% impossible by the fact that it was 14 minutes before midnight and it was dark and I was in our bedroom.
Yeah.
And then I didn't know what was going on. I was very confused and just went back to sleep.
Yeah, you just grumbled something and you rolled over, and then I said something else and you flat out didn't answer me. So I knew you were mad.
The cold
so I
shoulder.
just let it lie.
Would you get him to sleep with a baseball hat so that he could throw the baseball hat like he does, like when he's watching a sports broadcast when he gets frustrated with his team?
So I know for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it might be a good idea for you to keep a bat next to your side of the bed in case he goes crazy one day.
Yeah, I don't blame you. If I get real fussy, you have to smash my face in. I think that's a fair thing.
Yeah, you should have some protection or sleep somewhere else if there's a big sporting event that didn't go his way.
I have a very hazy recollection of the moment when I said, only God knows, and you saying, no, I also know that this is crap. And I do remember a flash of sleepy rage.
Oh,
that is completely irrational and weird.
We talked about many times over the years keeping a little recording device by the bed.
Yeah.
But these little things that he does, they tend to be so short now that we couldn't even catch it.
Uh-huh.
By the time he says thank you, I don't know what he's thanking me for. I mean, I wouldn't even have time to hit record before he's too mad and he won't talk to me anymore.
Ultimately, we all know it's pretty sexy.
Yeah. Well, I love
You're going to talk
May
dirty
not
to
be
each other?
sexy, but I absolutely love when it happens.
Okay.
Well, there you go. Thank you for sharing.
That is great.
Well, thank you guys. Have a good morning.
Here's your song.
You too. Is this guy dead?
Yes.
This guy died?
Yeah, he killed himself.
Yeah.
Jim writes and says, I think we know what sort of pedestal you were talking about. That wasn't going to take long.
No.
As though I refer to my crank as a pedestal. Thank you for covering my pedestal.
That's not even funny. That's not even That's a stretch.
It's a real stretch.
Silly.
Oh, man.
Later on this hour, remember we talked about things you should master by the age of 30.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
We've got one more. Well, 7 more.
Yeah,
that we have to get to.
I'm almost inclined to just start it because if we go at the pace we went yesterday, we'll get one more done today.
Yeah.
And in about a week and a half, we'll be done with this list.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
None of us will even be close to 30 by the time we're done. So, yeah, we'll get to number 7 through maybe 5 on the list next. Though we'll try for all of them. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show.
Email the show, idiots@freebeerandhotwings.com.
How do you pronounce the word C-O-M-B?
C-O-M-B.
Yeah.
Kumba.
Whoa! Still amazing. I thought there was a chance that guy might email back and say, no, I was kidding. He didn't. He would have been lying if he did.
He couldn't get to the library to access the computer to get to send an email.
No,
you're right.
Once the bus, see on Fridays, that's when the bus route can pick him up. Head over to that area where he lives.
23 hours from now, we'll play Dumber Than Zane Trivia. It's a chance for you to win $5,600. And if Zane wins, it would reach an all-time historic high.
Well, every win is a new high.
Of $6,000.
Yeah.
Talk about this list from Guyism.com, which is a fun website. From a writer, a woman in Chicago named Caitlin Thornton. 8 things you should be a master of if you're a dude by the time you turn 30.
Okay.
Joe, you're close. Are you good on all these so far?
So far, yeah, I think so.
You're good at handling your liquor?
For the most part, yes.
Basic car maneuvers?
Oh, yeah.
Not dressing like a douche?
I'd like to think so.
And one amazing meal you can cook. We discussed that yesterday.
Definitely can.
With liquor, when was the last time you got drunk and climbed something?
Oh,
it's been a while, right?
I think the last time I got really drunk was Daytona. when I made my own barf bag.
Oh, that was it.
Oh, yeah. Well, then you've mastered liquor.
When I got really sloppy. I've definitely been drunk since then. But
you were incorrigible. You couldn't even be spoken to.
Oh,
no, you were a mess.
That was the happiest night ever. But I still didn't puke.
No, but you were a mess.
Which is amazing. Were a mess. You were a mess, man.
Hot Wings sure drew the short straw rooming with you that night. Man, that's awful.
Oh, boy. God, did you smell.
I lost my phone. I smelled. And then in the morning, when either I picked it up or Hot Wings handed it to me, my bill for the evening, because I made a 2-minute long-distance call, was like $199.
Did you ever have to pay that?
No.
What did you do?
That's such BS. I go, why is this like this? And the lady goes, oh, yeah, that's just how it is. And I go, are you serious? And she goes, yeah, but you know what? We'll fix you up. We can take care of this. Just how about call it 15 and we'll call it good.
Which 15 is still a ridiculous cost.
Which is insane because I really didn't talk that long. But to knock it down that much?
Yeah.
What was that? It was the minimum number when you call out, and you called out like 90 times. Yeah. That was the thing. All your phone calls were 15 seconds long, but it's that minimum 99-cent surcharge or whatever.
That was so.
Of course, it was all on my card.
Yeah.
I go, oh, this is great. This is a great weekend with Joe.
Hot Wings gets home, tries to go to sleep after a long, fun day at Daytona. And then Joe comes back, realizes he can't find his phone, and turns on every light in the hotel room and sits on the bed.
Oh, dude, what are you doing?
Never room with Joe. That's actually the rule of thumb. Never room with Joe on the road. Because Zane and him used to engage in battle sleep because Joe snored like an a-hole. And then I thought Zane was overreacting, and I was 100% wrong. Zane was not overreacting. If anything, underreacting. You should have punched him in the mouth. And so I roomed with Joe, and he kept me awake so much that I got physically ill and ended up nearly missing work when I got back.
And now
Hot Wings didn't get snoring Joe. He got drunk meandering Joe.
Joe, has Hey You heard you snore yet?
Yeah.
So you are snoring?
Yeah.
Oh, no. I thought that when you got your nose roto-rooted that this would go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. It's when I sleep on my back.
It's a reason to not get married to you. And you need to get another surgery.
Yeah. I agree.
It's the reason that Steve's going to room with you in Daytona.
I had to download a sleep generator noise generator app last year in Daytona just so I could sleep.
It put white noise in your ears.
It's called white noise.
You just have to start loving me like my girlfriend does, and then it won't matter.
Steve, what about you? You've got 6 months before your 30th birthday. Can you handle your booze?
Yeah, the last time I was really bad was my birthday, night that...
When you were brooding?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was,
man,
do you guys think Steve can handle his booze based on that night alone?
Yeah, I just didn't want to talk to him. I thought he was going to kill me, man.
Yeah, he seemed like he could handle it all right.
That's so funny because
he was handling it very well.
He was.
My memory of that night, I was so happy.
Yeah.
Man, just staring, drinking, and chewing.
Your face had just numbed out, apparently.
Mad. But list of things to do for Steve on that night. Glower, sulk, and gaze.
Number 4 on the list of things you should be able to do before you're 30, diffuse a situation. That means if a fight is about to break out at the bar, whether you're in it or you're on the fringe of it, you should be able to break it up as opposed to being able to ramp it up and turning it into a brawl.
Still working on that one.
I'm usually always that guy.
Yeah, you're the one that breaks it up?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there before. I've intervened.
Though when you're at the bar, it's fun to see strangers fight.
Yes.
If it's someone in your group, it's no fun. But if it's strangers, you always even now, I got to admit, if I was out at the bar and somebody's going, oh, that guy looked at me, I would probably egg him on and want to see him get in a fight.
You going to take that?
He's been making fun of you behind your back the whole time. I'm not trying to stir anything up, but man, I would take
spine. That. I am trying to stir it up. You better go punch him in the mouth.
That's fun, man. It's fun because I know I'm not going to go to the bar, get drunk, and get into a fight. I know it's never going to be turned back on me.
Not like that.
That's why when my son says to me that he doesn't like how whatever kid was bullying him, I encourage him. I tell him to bring a knife to school.
And that's why I still try to diffuse situations.
She was telling me a funny situation. At Halloween, he dressed up as a banana. You saw the picture. He's a giant banana.
Yeah.
And there was like 3 or 4 seniors, and he's in 10th grade. It's like 3 or 4 seniors who dressed up like gorillas, and they were chasing him around the school. And they tackled his ass and put him down hard, and they started beating him up. Gorillas beating up the banana. I go, well, serves you right. Dude, a bunch of gorilla seniors were beating me up because I was a banana. I go, well, what do you expect? They're gorillas, and you're a banana. That's what happens.
It just worked out that way. That was unfortunate.
You're lucky you didn't go as a female gorilla.
Yeah. Next year, don't go as somebody's food group.
Number 3 on the list of things guys should be able to do, she lists it as technology/sex etiquette. It says the category includes the following: realizing the appropriate cutoff time for a booty call. What time? According to Jersey Shore, there is no cutoff. It's 6:30 in the morning. You call somebody up, you better get over there and be DTF. Texting to turn someone on. In other words, sending a text as your booty call. And learning to seduce via Skype. Joe or Steve, have you ever seduced someone via Skype?
No.
No, it seems very unlikely.
The only time we did anything via Skype was when we talked to girl voice Dustin.
Mm-hmm.
Or Justin.
Mm-hmm.
And that made me feel filthy because what my eyes were seeing, it was Justin.
That made me never want to use Skype again.
That was opposite of sex etiquette.
Do you remember our old roommate, John McFly? He was, like we were saying about Zane earlier, that when he was drunk, he was easily influenced. And so every night before we'd go out to drink, he'd be like, man, when I go home tonight, you guys cannot let me drunk dial. Okay, John. Yeah, we got your back, man. There's no way we'll let you drunk dial.
Totally.
In the car, leaving the bar. Hey, John, you know who you should call? Fill in the blank with any name.
Pick anyone.
Dude would run in like a teenager, flop down on his bed, curl his feet up over his back, wave them back and forth while pulling the phone off his nightstand and dialing, hey, you.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh, great. And then he'd get up the next day and be like, oh, God, this is terrible. Did you guys encourage me? No, man, we tried to stop you.
You did not.
God, that was fun. Number 2, changing a tire and a diaper. By the age of 30, you should be able to do either without reading an instruction manual. Well, I'm out.
Yeah.
Change a tire, fine. I have never changed a diaper.
I could figure it out.
I think I could figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
have you ever done it, Joe?
Straightforward.
Nope.
No.
Seen it done.
Steve, have you ever changed a diaper?
No, I haven't.
BL?
No.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Man.
How many had you changed before Grayson was born? Quite a few? Couple?
No, a couple.
A couple.
I was old enough to have changed my younger sisters a couple of times because I was 7 years older than her, so
I had to change my own.
Did you?
Yeah. That was on white pant night at the hockey game.
Jack Tripper night. The question is, can you change a diaper and wash it out in the sink?
I'm feeling it now.
Number 1, she just likes oral. That's what Caitlin says. Every man better be able to by the age of 30.
Oh, better be able to.
And do it right.
What would constitute wrong?
Oh, there's guys that think that they should chomp.
Or they look like they're trying to get the last of the ketchup out of the bottle.
Or they think they're trying to inflate a beach ball or some nonsense.
Blowing it? Is that Oh, urethra would be hotter if it was filled with air.
Some guy just goes up and goes
with air.
Some guy just goes up and goes.
But you know what we're talking about.
Yeah, these are the things that you might do if you
Sorry
ever saw
about
one.
the slices in your lab.
Tomorrow, Dumber Than Zane trivia presented by Cat Footwear.
You can't even say it.
Your chance to win $5,600. We'll take a break. It is the Free Bear and Hot Wig Show.
Email the show, idiots at freebeerandhotwings.com.
is so catchy.
Great song.
What a great example of how the whole music industry's changed. The way that became a hit. It was a YouTube smash.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, didn't make a penny for it. Of course, and in that one, it wasn't euphemized. It just said "F you," the whole words.
Yeah.
And then ends up getting played on the radio and everything else because everybody loves the song. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty smart.
Man.
8 things to master before you're 30. We got through one of them yesterday. 12.5% of the list before we were derailed.
What? How did that go again? How did we get...
We got on to the berry topic, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Even still, we had way too much fun with number 8, which was be able to cook at least one amazing meal.
Yeah.
Actually, we did that whole bit, went to break, came back. That's when the winner was announced.
The very thing.
Yeah.
But the fact that we went through the whole break prior to that on number 1.
Mm-hmm. It's impressive, sort of.
It's a skill.
So we all said we could cook at least one amazing meal by the time we turned 30. Obviously, for Hot Wings, Zane and I, that's in the rearview mirror. Joe has 1 year, 2 years. Steve has 6 months before they turn 30. But Ed Lautner, can you cook one amazing meal? What are you, 20? 22?
I'm 20.
You got 10 years. What can you cook? Nothing, right?
His parents won't allow him to use the stove.
I was thinking the same thing, yeah.
I mean, really. We'll give you can you cook anything?
Yeah, I can cook.
What can you cook? One amazing meal. Give us an example.
Macaroni and
frozen
cheese.
Pizza.
Rice.
Ramen noodles.
Rice?
Rice. That's not a meal.
Just white rice?
I know how to cook it.
You know how to make it.
It's not an amazing meal,
That's not a meal. That's cooking
something.
something.
What that's saying is you know how to turn the fire on, boil water, and drop a bag full of rice in. Or do you actually cook rice the old-fashioned way? You drop it in a bag, don't you?
Yeah.
And that's okay. I mean, I'm sure
It's
we
not
weren't
a meal, though.
We weren't cooking stuff at your age. Maybe more than rice.
No, don't speak for the latchkey kid. I was making turkey dinners by the time I was 10.
If you wanted to eat it, you better cook it.
Yeah, I was making Sunday breakfasts by then. Well, hell, in high school. Yeah. And I was making breakfast for the family.
Uh-huh.
Number 7 on the list of 8 things to master before you're 30. Again, these were written by a woman for Guyism.com. You can see the link in its entirety at freebeerandhotwigs.com. Caitlin Thornton is a writer from Chicago. Number 7, not dressing like a douche. She says, don't feel obligated to put on a suit and tie, freshly shaved face, but ditch the khaki cargo shorts. Tell your collar to settle the F down and banish the shiny neon, chest hair showing, label screaming, rhinestoney shirt. You're getting old. Dressing like a sexy DILF. It takes some practice knowing what you're comfortable with. That's a bummer because I like the cargo shorts.
Yeah.
That really sucks.
Yeah, I disagree with the cargo
I'm sticking
shorts.
with the cargo shorts. I'm not giving those up.
There's a time and place, though.
Well, yeah, for sure.
You know.
Uh-huh.
There is no time for popped-up collar, though.
No, never.
I have a close personal friend who will not put the collar down.
Yeah.
How old is that personal friend, roughly?
35.
What?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
They're 15 years too old for that.
It looks ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
Like you say, won't put the collar down. Knowing you, I believe you've said you should put your collar down.
I haven't gotten the nerve up to say it because he so owns it.
It's his thing.
Yeah.
He digs it.
Yeah, he does, man. He wears that thing crazy up.
I'm not asking for the name, but do we know this person?
I've seen him.
You have, huh, Mike?
Yeah, I know I have. Based on it, many friends as I know that you have, I am thinking of the guy who I've seen who has his collar up.
All right, just say it.
Jimmy. I'm pretty sure it's Fast Jimmy.
It's not Fast Jimmy, but you're close.
Okay.
Fast Jimmy wouldn't dress like that.
Okay, maybe I'm confusing the guys. I can picture the guy.
It's another fast guy. He's faster than Fast Jimmy.
Okay, then I'm just confusing guys. I don't know his name then.
Okay, that's good. You want me to say, don't you?
No, you don't have to.
No, it doesn't matter.
Mm-mm.
I mean,
I just wanted to know if we had met him, that's all.
I know I've seen him, though.
That's embarrassing.
Summer barbecue.
No, you haven't. There's no way you've seen this guy. Steve's seen him. Steve's been in the same room with him. Yeah.
How do you like that? Well, then one of your other friends pops his collar then, too. Oh.
It's terrible.
Yeah. God.
What if you found out that the top triathletes and bicyclists, peddlers, all popped their collar? Would you, Zane, then pop your collar? Because I think we all believe you would.
No, I wouldn't. It looks too terrible. It looks too terrible.
Joe, you don't believe him, do you?
No.
Joe wasn't buying it for a second.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, there are definitely a handful of things that make you look douchey. I mean, I think I just dress like a dork most of the time. But if you're... I don't care what age you are. You've got to lose the Ed Hardy shirts at this point. Mm-hmm. If you wear one, you are a douchebag.
Right.
I think. And too much crazy stuff on your shirt. Unless you're in a rock band, you should not have anything that says affliction on it at this point.
Or if you're not a cage fighter.
Yeah. And even those guys, they still look douchey to me. They might be tough as hell, but they still look like a douche.
Number 6 on the list of things every guy should master by the age of 30. Basic car maneuvers. She writes, do you have to deem someone else responsible while attempting to parallel park? Does your forehead become damp at the prospect of backing into a tight spot? My last car ride was covered in duct tape for a reason, but the men we chatted with swear the dude who becomes flustered by a 3-point turn deserves a shameful sigh. I think that's a good one. Actually, I think that's for both genders. By 30, you should be able to operate a motor vehicle and parallel park or back it into something.
At least reasonably. I mean, I get the biggest kick. Actually, I take it back. I like it when people can't parallel park because for me, it is sheer entertainment. The place I work out at has parallel parking right out front, and we'll be out doing treadmill stuff or whatever. You can watch for 5 minutes while somebody will try to get into a spot, then pull out, do it again, pull out, do it again, and eventually just leave. They give up. And they'll be in a Ford Focus, and the spot is like the size of 2 Suburbans. Mm-hmm. Like, they could have just pulled in forward, and they would have been able to do it.
Fit a city bus in there.
Dude, it's hilarious.
I always hate it when I'm doing it, and I scrape the wheel on the curb.
Yeah, that's
aluminum wheel. It's all ruined.
That's bad.
That only happens when
that's not fun.
When someone's walking by and they can hear it and they look at you like, "Ha, way to go,
terrible.
Stupid."
Tires all scratched up.
Number 5 on the list: liquor. Hot Wings, did you master? I guess it depends on the concept.
Well, yeah, I don't know what I mean by that.
Says ice houses were never really rad to begin with, but they became even more. That's number 1. Even more socially unacceptable in general as everyone around you gained success. If you should be able to take the challenge of being able to hold your liquor. Puking it up at parties is something that should cease by the time you turn 30. So not only would you know what drink to order, but also be able to hold it and not turn into a drunk jackass every time you drink.
Well, I've mastered it if the barometer is every time I drink. Because occasionally I have been known to have a few too many, but if I'm in the right setting, I know how to handle myself. Sure.
I used to barf every time I drank.
Every time?
Hour. Every time.
Wow.
It would be like this. Okay, I'd start drinking. I'd drink, in an hour 9.
So you drank like you used to eat, where you would eat super fast.
And then so I'd be like, and it would be so nonchalant. I'd be like, hey, dude, I got to go puke. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, cool. I'd go outside, barf, come back, and it was just because I drank 9 beers in an hour.
What's the most you ever drank in a night? Like, would you go get a 30-pack and you and your buddy, and he would have one too, and you would just...
You'd have 29.
I would drink a pretty good amount, and I would do it fast. So I'd get 8 or 9 under my belt within an hour and 10 minutes.
Wow.
Or an hour.
Oh, my God.
And then I'd nurse 3, 4, 5 more for the rest of the night. So, whatever. Go to bed with 14, 15 beers.
I can't imagine. 8 or 9 in an hour to an hour and a half.
I would pound. Just pound until I would barf. I'd vomit.
I can't imagine the alcohol punch you must have had. Because if you're drinking that fast, you could get through like 5 or 6 before you felt anything. And then all of a sudden be whammo.
Yeah, where you stand up and go, whoa, I can't walk.
Oh my gosh.
Out of control, drunk.
That is people that do like that are the reason that those drinks like Four Loko are being banned, because they're doing that same thing with those, and instead of it being 9 beers, they've had the equivalent of 36.
Yeah, and they're just dead.
Puking up blood, or their lungs stop working.
Everything stops.
See what we're going to say?
I wish so badly that I could go back in time and see you like that.
You're not
just
the
one
first
time.
person to have said that.
I think everybody who knows you post-recovery have thought that. Everybody thinks that.
Dude.
I mean, you had quit drinking by the time I met you, same with free beer. All of us would have loved to just on one occasion see, we need more firewood. I'm so drunk, I'm going to get in this car and knock over a tree, Eric Zane.
It seems like the power of suggestion would have been very strong.
Things said by Eric Zane while drunk. Let's go steal some gasoline. Bust his window.
I mean, because the joke used to be that you could get Eric to do anything you wanted if you said, there's no way that you'll do that. And tell me I won't do it. You won't do it. Bam. Next thing you know, butts dragging across the boss's desk or whatever.
Yeah, and that was sober.
Under the power of alcohol, I mean, you could have done anything.
Oh, 9 beer, Eric Zane. My God. Oh, we could have made you shatter your own bones.
Break your junk off and stick it in your ear. I will. No, you won't.
Shatter your own bones.
There are four more on this list of things you should master by the time you're 30. Those are next. We'll take a break. It is the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. 97.9 GRD, Grand Rapids Rock Alternative, the Free Beer and Hot Wings Show. Sunny, a few afternoon clouds, 63 the high. It's about 45 now. Do you know what today is the anniversary of?
What is the date? November
10th.
Mm-hmm.
No. Oh, boy.
1975.
Man. I've just been thinking about Gitchy Gumi.
Yeah.
The legend lives on from the Chippewa on down with the big
It's strange how that's become a bit of a cultural phenomenon in the state.
Yeah,
all because of this song. I'm sure boats have sank since then, right? Not that big, but
it was a big ass boat.
With a load of iron ore,
the mighty Fitz.
More than the Edmund Fitzgerald weight MG.
Did they ever make that into a movie? That seems like something that would have been a TV movie or something.
Seems like it.
Captain McSorley. I'll never forget. Then it was one of the anniversaries of this. They actually watched it online. The tolling of the bell, and I remember sitting there at home. This is about 3-4 years ago, maybe 5. What is the anniversary we're looking at here? What year did you say it was?
It was 1975, so it would have been. In 2005, it would have been the 30th anniversary.
That's what it was, and I remember sitting at home watching it at Whitefish Point. I think that's where they actually did it. They would toll the bell.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting going, so sad.
For all these people that died when you were 2.
Yeah, I know, but
no connection. But it is strange. No. It's the sound. It's like the tolling of that bell has the same impact as like hearing Amazing Grace played on bagpipes or something. It just reeks of sad.
Just ghostly.
Even this song it's obviously a very somber song, but it has that feeling just with the music and everything.
Yeah.
This is the time of year where annually I think about buying this song from iTunes, and then I realized that I would not, because then I would never listen to it. As soon as it came on, I'd go, oh, I love that song. Skip.
What's the name of the dude who we just saw him? He at AIM Fitness. Is it Jim Dreyer?
Yeah.
Is that the guy's name?
Swim like a fish.
That's the guy, the ultra endurance swimmer. Didn't he do something with the bell of the Fitzgerald? Drop it back into the lake or something like that? He did something.
It seems like there was
dropped a memorial or some deal when he was swimming across Lake Superior.
It seems like there was something like that.
That guy is amazing, man. On any given day when we go there on like Mondays, we'll see Jim finishing up his swim workout. And the other day
at AIM,
yeah, well, we're there getting ready to start our class where we're going to work on flip turns or breaststroke. And there's Jim in the water with paddles on his hands, which puts a lot of fatigue on your muscles that you would use when you're swimming because you've got this great big paddle.
Mm-hmm.
With a rope behind him, pulling a buoy
a cone, which is catching water, and behind it, another rope with a parachute.
I want to see it just because it sounds like it would look ridiculous.
You saw it, didn't you, Steve?
That seems crazy.
Were you there when he was doing that?
Yeah, it looked like he was just swimming, pulling a bunch of garbage.
Yeah, it was so much.
It was so much.
And it was slowing him down, and he's just... And he just, imagine his way. He doesn't go fast because there's huge resistance on him.
Without it, though, he must feel like he's going in zero gravity.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, I mean, used to that.
When you describe it, it sounds like somebody practicing for a marathon while pulling a trash can, a small Piper airplane, and maybe a car and a tractor behind them by a rope.
Known as the Shark. And then he got done to finish up. He grabbed an oar like the kind you use in a kayak on both ends of the shaft, and he's just plowing through the water to build up his muscles. This guy's ridiculous.
That is ridiculous.
You would not believe how strong this man is. Ooh.
Freakish.
Oh, it actually,
in a good way.
It's on his, it says right on his wiki page, Jim Dyer, member at the AIM Fitness Adventure Sports and Wellness Center in Kentwood.
Jeez.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. But he swam across various lakes. He swam across Lake Michigan, Lake Huron, Lake Erie, Lake Ontario, Lake Michigan, and Lake Superior. Lake Michigan, he swam the length of it, 422 miles.
Yeah, it's one thing. I mean, it would be impressive to go across. It's another thing to go from top to bottom.
Unassisted on a lot of those, where he just is pulling a boat. He pulls a dinghy, and he's alone.
Just that sounds terrifying. I really enjoyed when we had him in. God, it's probably been 5.5 years ago that he was on the show. That was we had not been here very long. But just the whole thing about it, pretty fascinating.
Yeah. But yeah, I forgot what he did in relation to the wreck of the Fitzgerald, but I could have swore there was something
You were right about dropping a memorial. I think that sounded very familiar when you said that.
Because the bell, they recovered the bell. He didn't drop the bell.
Right. Can you imagine if they went through all sorts of effort and they said, "Hey, look at this. Yeah, great." Throws it in the water. Dude, we wanted that.
Oh man, sorry.
Please stop throwing our stuff in the water. I think that's it for us.
All right.
Yeah.
JT is in next. It's 97.9 GRD.